you like the ocean, love you in slow motion. Anything it takes to make you stay. But I can't rely on you. Doesn't matter what I do. You say you need a time, I think you mean a buyout. Cause it's pretty clear you're on your way out. And though I understand it's hard sometimes to make up your mind in these trying times, yeah, I just can't accept you leaving me when I'm overseas with the heart so heavy. Think that I deserve the truth for once, not a guilty tone, cause you're not alone, yeah. You said you wanna come home, but I know you don't. So this time I won't hear it on the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face. You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face, you're sorry. And I quit my job for you, even quit some friends for you. Cause you couldn't stand it, me all independent, so you had to have me for yourself. That was when I trusted you, when I could add up 2 and 2. When you promised we'd be together, you, me, forever. Now there's nothing left to lose. And though I understand it's hard sometimes to make up your mind in these trying times, yeah, I just can't accept you leaving me when I'm overseas with the heart so heavy. Think that I deserve the truth for once, not a guilty tone, cause you're not alone, yeah. You said you wanna come home, but I know you don't. So this time I won't hear it on the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face. You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face, you're sorry. This time I think I get it. This love was overrated. No more infatuated. And I blame it on you, I blame it on you, yeah. This time I hope you get it. In love you shouldn't fake it, no. I'm old enough to take it. So just say it to me, say it to me. So this time I won't hear it on the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face. You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face. You're sorry. I am looking for a fire to keep me on the line. Yeah, a fire with a dazzling light. And I don't know if I am closer. Still looking for a fire in the end of the night. So don't hide it, 'cause I know that you do. I know that you do. Gotta find it now. I gotta find it now. Before it's over. I gotta find it now. I gotta find it now. I remember when you told me it's alright. Don't know why I could not see. We have to stay together now. Save me some time. Gonna be fine. The light. I am looking for a fire to keep me on the line. Yeah, a fire with a dazzling light. And I don't know if I am closer. Still looking for a fire in the end of the night. So don't hide it, 'cause I know that you do. I know that you do. Gotta find it now. I gotta find it now. Wait for me, baby. I gotta find it now. I gotta find it now. You say that you will change the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you wear your hair. Change the way you dress, the way you kiss, everything, 'cause you are scared that I might leave you. Well, why should I leave you? Baby, please don't talk to me that way. 'Cause I think you're perfect for me, just the way you are. And I don't ever want to leave you. Baby, don't you talk to me that way. And I'm sorry if I sound a little harsh, but I don't know how to get through to you. Because you don't seem to know that you are everything a girl could dream of. Baby, would you hear me? Don't talk to me that way. 'Cause I think you're perfect for me, So casually keep diving into concrete. So bittersweet. Huh? Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat. What's left of me? Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Hard to keep the heat when it gets colder. You know, sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the low, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark. Maybe just a better kind of bitter. Lose gravity, I'm swimming in the quicksand. Up to my knees. Keep losing sleep, I'm manic, dream at midnight.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? We are back with another show. It's J Red Unfiltered. Let's keep that music going because I like that song. But how y'all doing today? How y'all doing on this lovely Saturday morning? Well, almost afternoon, almost noontime.
So casually keep diving into concrete. So bittersweet.
So, as you can see by the title, I'm here to ruffle some feathers today because I see so many people defending this one. There's so many people that are defending it.
What's left of me? Drowning in what feels just like an ocean.
I just want to have a conversation because at the end of the day, there are people that have seen everything that's going on with this case.
Sometimes everything just gets hard.
There are people
Sometimes
that
everything just
actually
gets harder.
think it's okay to excuse that behavior.
Just keep on getting
So,
much darker. Even when I'm down in the low, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark. Maybe just a better kind of bitter. Lose gravity, I'm swimming in the quicksand.
That's what we're talking about today. I want people to try to prove me wrong. I want people to explain and justify why Fani Willis is allowed to indulge in such just egregious behavior. And it's okay for her to do it because she's black. And for no other reason than that. And I'm quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing people defending her. I'm tired of people seeing people trying to excuse her bad behavior, whether it's the way she acted on the stand, whether it's the fact that she's sleeping with a married man, whether it's the fact that she was using that married man or she was allowing that married man to basically misuse and misappropriate funds. So all these people that keep on talking about there is no proof. I want to talk we're gonna get into it, and I'm gonna read y'all comments too, even the comments that people make. But I encourage you to please give me your opinion, and if you agree or disagree, I want to hear your guys' opinion. That's what this is really about. This is really about you guys right now, and I just want to say I'm thankful and I appreciate you guys for watching, because at the end of the day, you could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. And so I'm grateful for that. And I thank you for watching. I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. So let's go ahead and get to it. Guys. So, basically where we left off is on March 5th, Fani Willis basically filed a brief in the court, and this brief was basically just trying to fight back against her disqualification hearing. She's on the fight, and like I said before, Fani is a hyena in the dress, so she is determined. She is determined that she is not gonna go down. And on one hand, I do kind of respect that, but on the other hand, you got to be smart and you got to know when you beat, lady. You know what I mean? She just She doesn't understand that concept. And so I want to get back into talking about her brief, and then we're gonna look at some people's comments about that are actually defending Fani. And I want to understand why people are defending her, because at the end of the day, she's a representation of the worst parts of black culture. And that, spoiler alert, that's my point. Fani is a representation of the worst aspects of black culture. The very things that I say that black culture is trash because of, Fani exemplifies them all. She exemplifies celebrating people that don't mean you any good. She celebrates the promiscuity in the 304 culture. She exemplifies the strong, independent woman that doesn't need a man, that basically is just I hate to say it, but she's just a modern day hyena. And it's kind of interesting. It's really interesting when you really think about it, because all those things that I mentioned is just the icing on the cake. Let's not even talk about the fact that she's a criminal, that she was, that she misuses misuses funds, and she uses intimidation tactics to get people to do what she wants. Let's not even talk about that. So let's not even talk about the fact that she has bad character. She just simply excuse me. She simply exemplifies the worst parts of the culture. And she's supposed to be a black woman that young black women can look up to and aspire to be. She's one of the most powerful women in Atlanta, in Georgia. Not even just Atlanta, Georgia. She's one of the most powerful black women. And the fact that she can operate the way she does, and then get exposed, and to still have the amount of arrogance and the amount of just blatant disrespect for the people, because that's what it is when you really think about it. It's really disrespect for the people. She's disrespecting the people. That's the citizens of Atlanta that whose taxpayer money that she stole, used to fund her trips. That's her. That's the people. I don't live in Atlanta. She didn't do it to me. But you should be mad if you live in Atlanta. If you live in Atlanta, you should be outraged. You should be outraged, because at the end of the day, this lady, not only will she do the dirt, but she can't even just take it gracefully. No, she's going to fight it, and she's going to fight it, and she's going to use manipulation tactics like going to the black church. She's going to do things like playing the race card, playing on just the black community's victim mentality. That's the type of woman that we're dealing with. That's Fani. Let's get back to looking at this brief. And in the meantime, if any of you want to defend her, let me know. Let's do this real quick. Because I want to know what y'all opinions are. Is Fani... Let me know. Is Fani a criminal, guys? Is Fani a criminal? The poll in the chat. Let me know. Is Fani a criminal? And it's just sad, because every time you see her, every time you look up and Fani's on the TV screen or the computer screen or your phone screen, anytime Fani appears, she's always maintained that she is like on the side of the moral high ground. She's the moral high ground. And quite frankly, the woman is she's just sick. She's sick. And that's the truth. That's the truth. She's sick. She really is. She is power hungry. She's desperate to maintain that power, and she's willing to crush anybody that she has to, and she's willing to use any argument. And I mean, she's a fighter. She's a fighter. But is that the way that it's supposed to be? Is that the way that you're supposed to be? Especially as a black woman that is supposed to be a role model for other black women to see. Is this what you want your daughters to see or to emulate? Is Fani Willis the woman that you want your nieces to emulate? Is she the one that you want your little sister to emulate? Is she what you want to be like? It's just disgusting, guys, and that's just the truth of the matter. I'm gonna milk this as much as I can, but I'm telling you guys, she's disgusting, and the things that she does, the way that she moves and operates, it's just gross. And I don't find any surprise that her and Kamala actually linked up, and that Kamala's probably got a lot to do with the things that she has going on. And oh man, this is just something else, guys. Let's hold on. Let's pull this up real quick. Look at this. Okay. So this is the brief. So to catch you up, basically, we were on the second page. So let's go ahead and let's look at this brief that was filed on March 5th. And this is basically Fani fighting back. She's fighting back. It says, at the hearing on March 1st concerning defendant's motion to disqualify District Attorney Fani Willis, the court posed several questions to the parties concerning the standard of proof required for disqualification and the legal standard to be applied by the court. The binding case law in Georgia is clear. A trial court is not authorized to disqualify an elected district attorney absent a showing by a high standard of proof that such an elected district attorney either has an actual conflict of interest or has engaged in forensic misconduct. The brief will address that standard of proof recently recognized by the Georgia Court of Appeals and a few circumstances recognized under Georgia's law that can constitute actual conflicts of interest for prosecutors. Okay. As a threshold matter, the elected district attorney is not merely any prosecuting attorney. She is a constitutional officer, and there is only one such officer in each judicial circuit. McLaren versus Payne. She says, this is all Fani. So, under Georgia's Constitution, a district attorney is constitutionally mandated to represent the state in all criminal cases in the Superior Court of such district attorney circuit. Here, the district attorney seeks only to do exactly that, perform her solemn duties as mandated by the Georgia Constitution to serve public justice in a case of great public importance. This case is basically Donald Trump and the election interference case. They're arguing that Donald Trump attempted to steal the election, and they're using this as an attempt to disqualify Donald Trump from running for re-election. That's really what it is in a nutshell. If we really want to be honest, they're doing this because they don't want Donald Trump to run for re-election. So, yes, this is a case of great importance because the outcome of this case will literally determine the people's faith in the voting system. It will determine people's faith in the voting system one way or the other. No side, there is no way to keep both sides happy. This is a situation where people are going to be pissed either way. It's a very important case. Very important. The defendants asked the court to impose a novel hair trigger standard for the disqualification of an elected district attorney, but no such standard exists under our law. The true legal standard set forth by our appellate courts and confirmed by statutory language is much higher and requires proof of an actual palpable conflict of interest with a substantial basis in facts. She says that standard is high for a reason. The public's interest in seeking justice is in no way served by a low standard that would allow trial courts broad authority to invalidate the public's choice in their elected district attorney, selected by the people to carry out essential constitutional duties. And our state Supreme Court reinforced this high standard just weeks ago. See Lee versus State. Okay, we got a comment. David Gerald says the judge is no longer running unopposed. He has a Democratic challenger that has shown up to put political pressure on the judge to side with Willis. His job is on the line now. Will he stand tall? That's a great question, David. David, that's a great question, because at the end of the day, this is what I'm talking about when I say Fani operates like a mob boss, because I personally think that she sent that guy. She sent that guy, and it's just like you said, to put political pressure, and I think Fani was absolutely behind it. I think that I just don't know. I don't know. I think that most people will fold, probably. That's just my observation of how people are. Most people will fold. And I'm just not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't want him. I wish he would stand tall, because up until now, he's been fair. In my opinion, he's been really fair. And I think that that's why they put the political pressure on him, because of how fair he is. There are people that say he's like, I've seen people make comments that he's a jackass and all those types of things, but I don't see that. I see that he was just trying to be impartial and fair to both sides. He was helping out both sides. So I don't really see the problem with the judge, but now it's interesting now. It's interesting because he has an opponent that he has to run against. And I think it's funny that Fani has an opponent that she has to run, two opponents that she's probably going to have to run against now. And it's just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't call this one. I can't call it. I honestly can't call it, but I would love if he did stand tall. That's the best I can give you, because with situations like this, when people have families on the line, a lot of people really just aren't built for that, and that's the truth. So I can't tell you what kind of person this judge is. I just know that he's been fair so far, but I don't know. I don't know, when people have those circumstances and people in that position, how many people will really stand tall? And I don't think it's a lot. I don't. Thank you for your comments, though, David. Appreciate you. Okay, getting back to this, says all criminal defendants have certain rights that must be protected by a system of justice, but among them is neither the right to be tried by a prosecutor of his choosing, nor the right to delay his prosecution for no good reason. Inappropriate or improper disqualification of a district attorney elected by the people of this country and constitutionally mandated to represent the state in all criminal cases in the Superior Court of this circuit has severe consequences, both for the people's faith in their constitutional right to be represented by a district attorney elected by them, and for the public's confidence in our system of justice. For the reasons set forth below, the defendant's motions to dismiss the indictment and disqualify the Fulton County District Attorney's Office should be denied. Hardball. The defendants bear the burden of proving their claims by a high standard of proof, which necessarily must be more than preponderance of the evidence. Fani says, it is the burden of the party seeking to disqualify counsel to prove that the extraordinary remedy of disqualification is warranted. She says, in McGlynn versus State, the Georgia Court of Appeals recognized that a court considering a defendant's motion to disqualify an elected district attorney and her office based on alleged misconduct must hold those who are alleged in such misconduct to a high standard of proof. At the hearing in the case, the defendants urged the court to adopt a preponderance of evidence standard, but under McGlynn, that cannot be the correct standard of proof, which not squarely addressed in the context of disqualification. Georgia's appellate courts have often categorized a clear and convincing showing of actual malice as a high standard of proof. I'm not reading all those cases. Sorry, guys. Moreover, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals has regularly and explicitly recognized that the preponderance of evidence, not a high standard of proof. The preponderance of evidence is not a high standard of proof. Basically, they're listing their cases, case studies or the case law. The state maintains that the defendants have not established an actual conflict of interest, even by a preponderance of evidence. So basically, Fani's saying they haven't even done the bare minimum, which even the bare minimum isn't good enough. Fani's saying that the courts recognize that preponderance of evidence isn't enough, and Fani is saying they haven't even met that bare minimum, the preponderance of evidence. It's just this is funny. Fani says, but even so, based on their case, on these cases, specifically the holding in McGlynn, that trial court must hold defendants seeking disqualification of a prosecutor to a high standard of proof. The court should hold the defendants to something higher than a preponderance of evidence standard. That's interesting. So Fani just saying, they're not meeting enough they're not meeting enough. They're not giving enough. But of course she's gonna say that. Number 2, she says the defendants asked the court to adopt a legal standard that is not recognized under Georgia law, and they rely on cases that are either cited in a misleading way or inapplicable or actually support the state's position. It's funny. The defendants rely on numerous cases in support of their motion that are, guys, I really hope you guys, just let me know. I hope somebody disagrees with me so that I don't have to read this whole thing. But we have to really just look. I'm sorry, it's just giving me a headache because I got a low tolerance for bullshit, and I want to talk about basically. You know what? Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just skip all this and let's just really get to the meat. Let's just really get to the meat of it all, guys, because at the end of the day, none of this stuff really matters. We have to understand that Fanny is a criminal. And what she did was wrong. What Fanny did was wrong. And there are people that actually don't believe that Fanny was wrong. They don't believe that what she did was there was anything wrong with what Fanny did. And I want to specifically dedicate this show to those people because I don't understand why it's okay. Why it's okay. I don't understand why it's okay to excuse somebody's bad behavior just because they're black. And that's why we constantly see that black people are in the position that they are. That's why we see that. We see that they're in the position that they're in because they always excuse the bad behavior. They celebrate the worst people. They pick the worst people as role models. And then they want to cry victim talking about the white man every time something don't go their way. Every time they can't get somewhere, it's because of the white man. And that's just, I'm just frankly sick of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some comments of some people that actually disagree or disagree with me that Fani is a terrible representation of black culture and in fact embodies the worst aspects of black culture. And that's the truth of the matter. She not only just is bad in black culture, she embodies the worst of black culture. So let's take an example, right? I had a problem at that Senate hearing with that black guy, the black senator that would call himself trying to be that guy, you know, the one that tried to get his gotcha moment with Ashley Merchant, and who she had to basically go in front of the hearing. She was subpoenaed, and she had to present her evidence in the case. And he was trying to get a gotcha moment because obviously you could tell that he was a leftist and a Democrat. And usually people that agree with people like that or excuse that kind of behavior or exude that kind of behavior, usually they're leftists. And that's the truth. So let's look at some comments that people said, right? It says, I agree with that guy at the Senate meeting. I don't think she did anything wrong. And I also think that there is no conflict or appearance of impropriety. With the appearance of impropriety, she has to prove that it affected Trump and in some way, not sure how the prosecutor and the DA sleeping together affects Trump. They have been trying to rush this trial. It is being held up by this disqualification meeting, and none of the lawyers can prove a conflict. One minute you saying the Bradley guy is trash, the next you were yelling at a black senator for telling the truth. Ashley Merchant don't care about the taxpayers' money, and a client don't pay taxes. Okay, let's unpack this bit by bit, right? So, fine, you agree with him, right? How do you not see that Fani did anything wrong? How do you not see that her paying the man more, like almost $500,000 more than what he's worth, than what she's paying anybody, and he's really not worth that. He's unqualified. He's never prosecuted a felony, let alone a RICO case in his life. Yeah, he's the lead. He's the lead. How do you not see a conflict of interest with a man spending money that he got from his girlfriend on his girlfriend? I don't understand that. How do you not see that that's wrong? And even if you subscribe to the idea that she paid the money back in cash, guess what? She was using campaign money to do that. That's illegal. Conflict. There is conflict. Just because what you don't understand is things like that compromise the entire integrity of the trial. That's what it is. It compromises the integrity of the trial. And to be honest, man, they need to be disbarred. At the very least, Fani should not be allowed to practice law in the state of Georgia ever again. ever again. I just answered the question. No, I'm just saying that there that's the conflict and the appearance of impropriety, because it's not appropriate for a boss to be paying the employee more money than he's owed, and then for that employee to go around and use that money to take her across the world, across the country, or no, across the world. That's inappropriate. It doesn't. That's what you don't understand. Listen to the words that are stated. The appearance of impropriety. That means that if it appears inappropriate. What does impropriety mean? Inappropriate. And I don't understand how you think that this stuff doesn't actually affect. It affects that. If you're running a shady case under shady operations, then guess what? I'm gonna try to throw the trial out. I don't understand why people have such a big problem with lawyers lawyering. They're lawyers. Just like Fani got up there and lied. Just like Terrence Bradley got up there and he's talking about, I don't recall. It's attorney-client privilege. He's lying like a lawyer. Now, as far as trying to rush this trial, lawyers not being able to prove conflict, they've stated numerous times, and this is up to the judge, but if the judge rules that the appearance of conflict is enough, then guess what? That's what's going to happen. Now, they can appeal it. But either side can appeal it. And guess what? This judge doesn't want to be appealed. He doesn't want to be appealed. So, I mean, and as far as I'm saying Bradley is trash, Terrence Bradley is trash. He is trash, but that guy on the sentence stand, it's not about telling the truth. He was trying to have a got you moment. That's not the same thing. And first of all, they were having a conversation. So he's obviously wrapped up, got his feelings involved, and he wouldn't even let her finish her sentences. He wouldn't let her talk. So it's not about thinking that he's not telling the truth or being mad at him for telling the truth. The fact is, guess what? He wasn't there in good faith. He wasn't there in good faith. And it's the truth of the matter. And it's the same thing that we always see from people from the left. They excuse the bad behavior when they do it, but then they got a problem when the other side does it. It's a shame. It's a shame. Now, I'm just wondering, like, I appreciate you guys for watching, but do any of y'all think I'm off about anything? Let me know. Am I off? Let's see if we can find some more people that disagree. You know what? Let's go ahead and actually see if we can. I'm gonna show you an example of why Fani is trash. Let's just watch, because the best character dissection is to actually just watch them just be themselves. Let's let's look at it, because honestly, ugh. Let's hold on. Hold on. My bad, guys. I'm just like I said. I'm trying to build it while I'm flying. Trying to build a plane while we flying. Let's First let's look at this clip. I just want you to see this attitude that this lady got. let's look at this attitude.
And suddenly he's changing. She files her financial declarations, same problems. We need a ready here to go over all of this and to explain exactly what happened. And suddenly he's changing. She files her financial declarations, same problems. We need a ready here to go over all of this and to explain exactly what happened.
That's the dress everybody keeps saying that she was wearing backwards. Guys, my phone is tripping.
We was asked the court that the court allowed Ms. Willis to be called and interrogated on these matters.
Can I wait to Your Honor?
Just a moment, Ms. Willis.
Look at her. Look at her. They ain't even told her she could come up there yet. They haven't even told her she could come up there yet.
Ms. Cross, I don't know if you want to speak with Ms. Willis now. It's sounding like maybe they're withdrawing the objection to the motion.
I believe the motion to...
Or does Ms. Willis want to take the lead here?
We'll withdraw the motion to quash Ms. Willis.
Based on the... I'm ready to go.
Okay, so...
Facts, David. Facts, David. Facts, David. They the one lady that came forward actually testified and said that she was on the phone or she was with Bradley when he got a phone call saying they're after talking where she sent him that phone call. They said Nathan gave him a courtesy call. They said Nathan's best friend gave him a courtesy call. Guys, they were 100% threatening Terrence Bradley. And that's why he was up there sweating bullets. That's why he was up there just lying. He didn't have a choice. This woman is scary. And that's just real. Let's just be for real. That woman is scary.
The position of the district attorney at this point is that she's no longer contesting the subpoena. Ms. Merchant has called her as the next witness.
I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant.
3 filings?
Do y'all see? Let's just watch this again. Keep in mind, they haven't called her to the stand. They haven't called her to the stand. They haven't called her to the stand. Look.
And suddenly he's changing. She files her financial declarations, same problems. We need a ready here to go over all of this and to explain exactly what happened. We was asked the court that the court allowed Ms. Willis to be called and interrogated on these matters.
Can I wait to Your Honor?
Just a moment, Ms. Willis.
Nobody is talking to her.
So, Ms. Cross, I don't know if you want to speak with Ms. Willis now. It's sounding like maybe they're withdrawing the objection to the motion.
I believe the motion to...
Or does Ms. Willis want to take the lead here?
We'll withdraw the motion to quash Ms. Willis.
Based on the... I'm ready to go.
Okay, so the position of the district attorney at this point is that she's no longer contesting the subpoena. Ms. Merchant has called her as the next witness.
I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant.
3 filings?
She's not breathing heavy. She's ready to fight.
Does anyone have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant? Does the court have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant?
When you say the filings, you mean like the pleadings?
The pleadings, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we could locate those for you in the supplemental.
I want the one filed on January the 8th, the one filed immediately after we filed ours, and the final one.
If you want to take a break to get them, I can make a copy. I think we have one.
You know, the only copy I have is going to have my notes on it. So if we don't have a clean copy,
We have a 5-minute break during.
Let's
I'll get
take
the documents.
all right.
I'll sit here and wait for him.
Too many subscriptions? You can keep track of that.
This is but that's what I'm talking about. Like, look at that energy that she exudes. Look at that energy. Look at that energy. See, we're gonna do a real case study on this woman because, like, you got to think about it. This woman is supposed to be a role model. She's supposed to be an example that young girls can follow, can look to, and just believe in. But, you know, it's just, she's the worst of black culture. I feel like it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. Let's look at this clip.
That's visit you at a place that you resided.
Okay. I don't understand. You don't give me that. In 2020, I lived in South Fulton.
Okay.
That's the only place I lived in South Fulton. That's before I had to abandon my home, Judge.
All right.
And at my home in
We're
South
gonna clarify
Fulton,
this. We'll break it down.
he never came there, okay? So if you don't come someplace, you can't live there.
Ms. Willis, I'm going to have to caution you. This is going to be the first time I have to caution you. We have to listen to the questions as asked. And if this happens again and again, I'm going to have no choice but to strike your testimony. So, we need to break this down. Ms. Merchant's question, I believe, was asking whether you lived anywhere other than South Fulton.
Can't remember what it was. And it would vary. District
Let's
attorney,
just go ahead and
Fani,
watch this whole
F.A.
thing.
and I.
Break it down.
Last name is Willis.
If you have any smoke, let
Ms.
me
Willis,
know.
How did
Let
you
me
know
know
to
if
come
I'm
to
off.
right then?
There were people I was pacing in my office.
Okay.
And
gonna
I
watch
heard
this whole
someone
thing.
yell, his testimony is done. It only made sense to me that I would be your next witness. And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today. So I ran to the courtroom.
So as
Look
soon
at
as you heard that Mr. Wade was done
Just saw it.
testifying,
She
that's when
ran
you
to the
just
courtroom.
assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
Did you listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Did you listen to any of the arguments?
I did hear the arguments this morning. It's ridiculous to me that you lied on Monday, and yet here we still are. And I did listen to that argument.
All right, so that was it, just the argument, no testimony.
Right, I listened to the argument this morning where Adam Abadi, I thought, did an excellent job pointing out how dishonest you were with the court on Monday. And I'm actually surprised that the hearing continued, but since it did, here I am.
Great. So let's just talk about what you did in preparation for today. Did you meet with Mr. Wade at all? Once the motion was filed, did you meet with Mr. Wade and talk to him about the motion that I filed to disqualify you?
On this first January motion?
Yes.
I don't know if you could say talked about. I probably had some choice words about some of the things that you said that were dishonest within this motion.
That attitude.
So I don't know that it was a conversation. As you know, Mr. Wade is a Southern gentleman. Me, not so much.
Okay, but my question was, did you have a conversation with
I didn't
him?
have a substantive conversation.
You did not.
I read this motion, skimmed it more so, and I've probably said some choice things to him about some of the lies that were told.
Okay.
And been printed in the media because
Why are you so proud about just basically just choice things? Why are you so proud about that? And this is what I'm talking about. You're embodying the worst of us. So you're supposed to be an example. Why is Nathan Wade, who's probably arguably going through the worst situation here, if we really be honest, Nathan Wade is probably going through it the worst. His wife was cheating on him. You telling the world that his thing don't work. Like all this stuff Nathan Wade was going through, and yet still he got more class than you. Why is it that this woman, people call her a queen? That's what I've heard people refer to her as, a queen. Shout out to B. Fry. A queen is what they call her. But yet and still, she gets up here and acts like this. This isn't queen behavior. That's not how queens act. Let's just tell the truth. That's not how queens act.
You know, we used to be in a day and time where you had 60 Minutes and people did stories and they verified information, and you had this great reporting. But it seems today that a lawyer writes a lie and then it's printed for all of the world to see.
Well, I just want to make sure that you answer the question I asked, though. So my question was,
Overruled, Mr. Abadi.
I told you what happened. I read the motion. I am sure I told him what my
Hey, what's going on, Maria? How you doing? How you doing? Appreciate you for stopping through.
opinion of it is.
Okay.
And past that, we had no substantive
Safe travel,
conversation.
too.
you did not. Okay.
Is there something you didn't understand?
No, I just wanted to make sure that
Okay.
you did not have a meeting with him in the conference room to discuss the motion.
Next question,
No.
Ms. Merchant.
So in the conference room of my office with
Fani, he said next question. Why are you being so defiant? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. She exemplifies the worst. But let's keep going. It's a case
you
study.
produced some financial document. That financial document was given to me, something, and I'm not even sure who was giving it to him by me or Mr. Abadi gave it to me. And I think he showed me a document in our conference room. But as far as a substantive conversation, I don't believe I've had any conversation with him that is substantive related to this.
Okay.
I have had conversations with him since you filed the motion, but they wouldn't be substantive to this. He sent me very nice sermons that have been done. And so we've had conversations about, did you listen to
I wonder if any of those sermons had anything to do with adultery. Did any of those sermons have anything to do with adultery, Fanny? Let me know. I need to know. Did any of those sermons have anything to do with adultery? Because that's what you guys were doing. You guys were being adulterous. Did any of those things have anything to do with adultery, Fanny? I need to know. Inquiring minds would like to know. Yeah, Maria, I think her voice is shaky because I think her voice is so shaky because she got to get her lies together. It says Fanny's voice is shaky. She got to get those lies together. Seriously doubt it. Yeah, something tells me that those people always love to go and cry religion and bring out the Bible scriptures and the sermons whenever they're doing something wrong or they're going through it, even when what they're going through has nothing to do with God and it's entirely because of their own actions. Entirely, 100%.
that sermon? You know, things of that nature. And I would say they were in relationship to this because I think he did it to be kind.
Okay. Let's start back in 2019.
Yeah.
So you and Mr. Wade met in October 2019 at a conference?
That is correct. And I think in one of your motions, you tried to implicate I slept with him at that conference, which I find to be extremely offensive. I stayed at that conference. Mr. Wade was my teacher. I did not meet him when he taught the class. I was standing outside talking to Lisa Reeves, who is a judge. Me and her were just having a conversation. Mr. Wade walks up. I think they hug each other. They have some brief conversation. She introduces us.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. We kind of thought that when you asked the question, you were going to answer the question, not a speech, so I object to the speech.
I
I
agree,
believe I'm
Judge.
able to explain my answers.
I believe she's able to explain her answers.
And that's,
That's Ms. Merchant. That's okay. I can handle it. Ms. Willis, I'll ask you to just listen to the answer, or excuse me, the question, and keep the answers confined to the question as best you can. I think you'll have more than enough ample opportunity on when the state is
Well,
able
it's
to ask
highly offensive when
follow-ups.
someone lies on you, and it's highly offensive when they try
Judge.
to implicate that you slept with somebody the first day you met with them.
Why? No, it's not. And look. We're not finna act like. So it's okay. It's okay for you to sleep with a married man, but it's not okay for you to sleep with him when you first meet him. So you acting like, so Fanny, you never had a one night stand. I'm not saying that I agree with him or support him. I'm saying that you sitting there acting like, okay. So I watch other lawyers' content, right? And so I look at other people's opinions about stuff like this. Apparently, lawyers are people too. You know what I'm saying? Strange enough, lawyers actually get horny. They work a lot and then they get horny after they work. Surprisingly, there are lawyers that go to conferences that meet and hook up. Apparently, strange enough that lawyers actually are people. So the idea that Fani is so disgusted, yet and still, you're not presenting any more moral case. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's against your religion. It's not like you just have so many values. You're hooking up with a married man. The man's married. You hooking up with a married man, but sitting here offended because they think that you hooked up with him when you first met him. Like, people don't do that in today's age. Not saying that I think it's smart. I'm just saying people do it. People do it.
And I take exception to it.
All right. Well, Ms. Willis, she'll have the opportunity to explain all of that when it's the state's turn to ask more open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Ms. Merchant.
Thank you, Judge. So again, my question was, you all met at that conference, though, right?
We did the meeting.
Okay.
He, as I stated, he taught the class. I did not actually meet him when he taught the class. I walked out of the class, and I'm not sure if it was that exact class or we had went to lunch.
Guys, we just watched Ashley Merchant. And the fact is that she's capable of answering questions. So why is it that none of these black attorneys have the ability to answer direct questions? Why is it that none of the black attorneys can answer direct questions? That doesn't make sense to me. She asked if you met her at the conference. What the French toast are you talking about? You didn't meet him at the class. Words matter. She didn't ask you about the class. She said, did you meet him at the conference? That's a yes or no question.
But we were standing in the vestibule, like outside of the class. Me and Judge Reeves were having a conversation. She had worked at a law firm I worked at.
The judge just told her to answer the
1996.
question directly. She's still not, she's defiant. She's literally defiant.
Way afar. I mean, I don't mind her explaining her answers, but I literally just asked if they met at that
She's
conference.
explaining how she met Mr. Wade, which was exactly the question asked by Ms. Merchant.
It was-
These answers are more than appropriate.
Ms. Merchant, if you want more concise answers, perhaps you could lead the witness.
I will. Thank you, Judge. Isn't it true that you met Mr. Wade October 2019 at the judges'
He
conference?
hasn't gotten to the point where Ms. Willis should be treated also in this situation.
I think we
And
have
I'm very
Mr.
much want to be here, so I'm not a hostile witness. I very much want to be
Not
here.
so much that you're hostile, Ms. Willis, it'd be an adverse witness. Your interests are opposed to Ms. Merchant's.
Thank you.
Merchant's interests are contrary to democracy, Your Honor, not to mine.
No, and this is what I'm talking about. Why the hell is she allowed to say that? Why is she allowed to say that? That's just disrespectful. That's just disrespectful. Why is she allowed to say that? This don't have nothing to do with nothing else. It's about Fani's lack of ability to answer a damn question. She didn't have to throw that low blow in there. Ashley Merchant didn't say nothing crazy to her on the stand. She didn't say anything crazy to her. All she did is been asking her questions. You just want to give your story because you know it looks bad. That's what it is. You know that it looks bad, so you want to keep going, and you want to keep going, and you want to give your side of the story. You want to give your side of the story. And this is what we're looking at. We're looking at some crazy behavior right here. This is some crazy behavior. This is insane. It's insane. Opposed to democracy. Defending her client means that she's opposed to democracy. That's crazy to me. And then the judge tells her, he's like, okay, no, you got to answer direct questions. You got to answer direct questions. Then she says, okay. And then, to the point where he tells her to lead the witness, lead her. And then guess what? Then the guy objects. And then, you know what I mean? He objects. And then he's like, okay, well, treat her like hostile. She is a hostile witness. Look at the way she's sitting. Look at the way she's answering her questions. Look at her energy. You don't think that she's a hostile witness? She's adverse. She's not there to cooperate. She's there to tell her side of the story. And that's what she's there for. So at the end of the day, what we're looking at is a hyena in a dress. I'm sorry. That's the truth of the matter. And I'm not talking about all women. All women aren't like this. But what we're looking at is a hyena in a dress. She represents the worst aspects of what people mean when they say modern women. When people talk about modern women, she's what they mean. She's what they're talking about. She's what men fear.
All right, let's
Judge,
proceed.
I would just ask that
We can keep things moving. Ms.
Thank
Merchant,
you.
next question,
Thank you.
please.
Okay, so we've confirmed when you met. After that, isn't it true?
No, I need to explain this, and I think I get to explain my answers.
No, you
when I
don't.
met him, Judge Reeves introduced us. He handed me his business card. I'm unsure if I handed him my business card, but we exchanged information. He said, if you ever need any help, give me a call. And he walked to the parking lot.
Hey, what's going on, Lynn? welcome to the stream. Appreciate you for stopping through.
So after that, you started dating shortly thereafter, correct?
A lie. That's one of your lies.
Okay. Do you know Robin Yurdy?
I know her as Robin Bryant. I knew her. So Robin did not go to my college. She went to the college of, I went to Howard University. She went to Morgan State.
Shout out to the HBCUs. This is who you saying to represent you, huh? Shout out to the HBCUs. Black culture's finest.
I met her through some people I knew. In college, we hung out a bit, not much because she was in Baltimore and I was in Washington, D.C., but we hung out a bit. After college, I lost contact with her. I probably didn't see Robin again until maybe 7 or 8 years ago, a chance meeting here in Atlanta, but we did not have a consistent relationship from when I left college and came to Emory Law School here in Atlanta. But 8 to 10 years ago, just by happenstance, I ran into her. So she was in Atlanta.
You have been friends with Robin for 30-something years.
Did you hear my answer, madam?
Yes, and I'm asking if you've been friends with her for 30-something years.
I've known her for 30-something years. We certainly hung out and partied together in college. She was from the D.C. area. She would come home, we'd party together. Wasn't close, but she was certainly in the girlfriends.
Ashley, don't let her do you like that. You are a lawyer and you were asking her the questions. Don't let her do you like that. I hate that. Don't let her do like, no, she's in that chair right now. This is what I'm talking about. Fani just can't give up her power. She can't even be respectful. No submission. No submission. No submission whatsoever. No surrender.
Party together.
God.
And then, like I said, I ran into her about 10 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. But we didn't talk throughout that time period. I didn't see her. I didn't even know where she was. When I ran into her, I was surprised she was in Atlanta. And so, yes, I have known her probably since 1990, 1991, but we have not maintained a consistent relationship that whole time.
For the last 10 years or 5, whatever you'd like to classify it as, have you been friends with her?
I have not spoken to Robin in over a year. I certainly do not consider her a friend now. I think that she, there's a saying, no good deed goes unpunished. And I think that she betrayed our friendship.
So let's narrow it down, the timeline now. So my questions are going to be from the time period of 2019 until she no longer was employed for you, the last time you all talked. So all of my next questions are just focused on that time frame, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Up until she left your office.
Yes, ma'am.
During 2019, you all were friends, correct?
Yes, we knew each other in 2019.
During 2020, you all were friends, correct?
We were friends during that time period.
During 2021, you all were friends, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And such good friends that when you needed a place to stay, you asked her if you could take over her lease.
That's a lie.
You did not move into her apartment?
I did, but that's not the way you characterize it is wrong.
I asked if you could take over her lease.
I did not ask if I could take over her lease.
Did you move into her apartment?
I moved into her condo in April of 21. The circumstances around that were that Robin met her husband. They wanted to move into another and separate place.
Lynn, this is a great comment. I just want to say this is a great comment because that's literally what it is. She said that her and not Terrence, but her and Nathan actually had disagreements because she didn't like she wanted a part or not let's see what I don't want to misquote her, but basically she was talking about how she just didn't like being submissive and all that kind of stuff, and she felt like they were equal, and so it was just. She just Yeah, I can imagine that she's a very unpleasant person to be in a relationship with. I imagine that she's incredibly unpleasant to be in a relationship with. She exhibits the worst parts of what people talk about when they talk about modern women. And I hate to keep saying that, but it's the truth. Like when you talk about the argumentative, the angry, the strong will, fighting, love to fight, just always just with the rah-rah. That's Fani. That's her. Look at her. Look at that energy that she exudes. Could you imagine waking up to that energy every night or every morning? Could you imagine dealing with that every day? Could you imagine? I couldn't. It's just, I couldn't. Oh, God. Thank you for the comment, Lynn. Maria says Yurty did Fanny's hair and makeup. Wow. Wow. Yeah, she's fake. Maria says you're right, Lynn. Maria says Fani is such a snot. Lynn says LOL. It's the truth. No, but it is the truth. It's the truth. She's the worst, and it's gross to look at. It's gross to look at. It really is.
Wanted to get rid of her condo. My father was living with me at the house. Because of this case and because of my stance on gangs, my life was being threatened regularly. My father urged me to leave our home. At the same time, as luck would have it, Robin wanted to give up her lease because she wanted to move in with this new man she met, who eventually became her husband.
A man is not a plan. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I mean, that sounds good. It sounds good, but that just goes to show you that everybody that likes to talk about how she was paying him back, I don't believe that for a second. I think she was lying. She wasn't paying him back any money. A man is a plan. Man should be a plan. It should be a part of your plan. Yeah, it should be. I'm a man and I'm saying that. It should be. It should be. That's the truth. If what value, if he's not bringing any value to your life, you wouldn't keep him around. That's the truth of the matter. Fanny, you're not that independent. Why was he still paying for the trips? What it is you're trying to uphold you're trying to uphold a standard. You're trying to uphold a standard because that's what people believe, and that, it's sad to watch. It's sad to watch because at the end of the day, most modern women don't even believe the nonsense that they're saying. They don't even believe the nonsense that they're saying. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be with a man that doesn't provide. Even if you have more money than him, guess what? Most of the times, the man is still going to be paying the bills. He's still going to be taking care of the responsibilities. Most women, they want to make their money, and then at the same time, when they make their money, they want the man to still take care of business and provide. And that's the way that it should be. That's just my opinion. My opinion is to protect and provide. It's very simple. It's very simple. Lynn says that's why they're alone. Yeah, I agree. That's why a lot of them are alone. It's really sad to see, but you can't really help them. Can't really help them, because then even when other women try to tell them and trying to help them, guess what? Those women will sit up and then they'll call them pick-me's, or they'll call them whatever kind of names they have for them. I don't keep up with it as much as I used to, but they disrespect women that try to help them and let them know that there's actually better out there, and that's the truth. That's the truth. So that's why they're alone. Lynn says, yes, family is everything. And that's the truth. Family is everything, because without family, guess what? Guess what? Everything falls apart. The reason why Lil Pookie is going around terrorizing the community is because his family structure is trash. It's the truth. 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10 is because his family structure is trash. You fix the family, guess what? A lot of things domino effect, because When you instill values in people, you instill a conviction in them. So even if they go down the wrong path, there's still a different level of conviction. Nowadays, the reason why a lot of people are able to do the things that they do is because they don't have conviction. They don't have conviction. Like, let's just take a second and just really look at, for example, there's this story that I just saw, and it was about these girls, these young girls, high school girls that met up to get into a fight, right? They met up to get into a fight. So hold on, I'll bring that back up. But these girls met up to get into a fight. So after they met up to get into this fight, one of the girls got to slamming the other girl. They got to slamming the other girl. The girl started having seizures and she ended up getting unalived. Okay? The girl's not here anymore. And it's over a stupid fight. Now think about it. Because these are, when we really look at it, this is where the root of my black culture disdain really comes from. Because if you look at these situations, what were people probably doing? They're probably sitting around recording. We're not in the days where people would just fight and get their issues off. Nowadays, people are really trying to hurt people. They're trying to hurt people, like really. And then they look stupid when they go too far. They look stupid when they go too far. And the reason why that's okay is because they don't have the conviction. They don't have that conviction, that value of life, that appreciation of life, that appreciation of right and wrong. You know what? Maybe I don't have to completely destroy this person. Maybe just getting my issue off is enough. People genuinely want to hurt other people. And the reason why is because they don't have any real value or love for human life. And you can see it even at the top with people like Fani. You don't think that Fani exhibits traits of being a sociopath? I'm not diagnosing her as a sociopath. I'm saying that she exhibits traits of a sociopath. And that's the truth of the matter. And the fact that black culture is still willing to excuse and embrace her speaks for how trash that black culture is. That's just how I feel. And yes, I understand that Fani doesn't represent the entire black culture, but what she does do is expose how black culture excuses bad behavior, like I've been saying for the last year. Black culture excuses the worst people, shows love to the worst people, embraces the worst kind of people, but then they crap on and shun and push away and push back against anybody that speaks up, anybody that wants to actually see the community do better, that wants to see people turn away from their wicked ways. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth of the matter, because the black community is wicked right now. It's wicked. It's full of hatred, a lack of value from human life, and guess what? You see it trickle down all the way to the children. That's why I brought up that story, because guess what? Those little girls, those high school girls, don't value human life. And they're not the only ones. That's why people pull out their phones when people fight. That's why they'll laugh and they'll sit there and record people that, like, when they passing away. They'll record bodies, and families got to see their bodies of their loved ones on social media before they actually see it in real life, before they get the call. They don't even get a call, and they seeing they loved one's body on social media. Lynn told the truth. Family is everything, because without family, there's no way to instill that conviction within people, because it has to be done young. It has to be done young. You want it to be effective. Think about it. And I'm not saying that people can't be saved later. I'm saying that a lot of people don't get the chance. Start young. Give people a better chance starting out so that you don't have to correct and deal with the consequences of your mistake. Because life is hard. So some mistakes are harder to come back from than others. You get a felony, it's going to be hard for you to get a job forever. You're never going to have the same money-making potential in regular work work environment as other people. And it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Because of the decisions you made, whether your fault or not, the situation that led you into that position, guess what? Now you're always gonna have to think of other ways. You're always gonna be limited in what you can do compared to other people. Family is important because you have to give people the best chance. And that's why it's important. It's important because that's why marriage is important. Because guess what? When children are raised in stable 2-parent households, they're like 6 times less likely to actually get involved in those things that are destructive. Less likely to go to prison, less likely to drop out of school, less likely to be broke. You know, all these things. It's just, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to soapbox, guys. But yeah, Lynn, you're absolutely right. Family is everything. Yeah, it's the yeah. I'm sorry about that. David says, I think Merchant is a horrible examiner, but they let her run point because her demeanor contrasted with Fani, set up Fani to look worse, and Fani too pig-headed to see the setup. I don't think it was a setup, though. I think Fani just did that to herself. I think demeanor does play a role in it, but I don't think it was a setup, though. I genuinely don't. I don't think it was a setup. I think Fani went up there and showed her ass, and I think what we just saw is what happens when a normal woman goes up against a woman that wants to be, that for all intents and purposes wants to act like a man. Fani wants to act like a man, in my opinion. That's that toughness, that roughness. She's masculine. Well, what we saw is when a feminine woman goes up against a masculine woman. And that's the truth of the matter. And it has nothing to do with Ashley Merchant being white and Fani Willis being black. Because I'm not one of those people that subscribe to the idea that black women are inherently masculine. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that a lot of them choose to be. They choose to be. And Fani chooses to be like that. And you know, it makes me kind of want to do a deep dive on her dad and really see how her dad is, because usually from the looks of it, she got a lot of that from him, and it's sad to see. But I don't think it was a setup. I genuinely don't believe it was a setup. I believe that Fani went up there and she just showed her butt. She showed her behind, and that's just the truth. I don't think it was a setup. I don't think that they were thinking that deep about it. That's just my opinion on David. I don't think that it was a setup, but I do think Fani was too pig-headed to realize that she was making herself look stupid. That's what I think. I agree with that. Thank you for your comment, though. Lynn says women are brainwashed by the fake feminist movement. Yeah, it's fake. It's fake, and to be honest, it's to their detriment. It's to their detriment because at the end of the day, it's not really hurting. It's just hurting people. It's hurting people. It's hurting the women because it makes their life hard. It's hurting the men because now they have to deal with the ramifications of it. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for anybody, and that's just the truth of the matter. It's not good. Lynn says, spot on, Jay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was going on a soapbox. I didn't mean to do that. I appreciate you guys, though. Seriously. Time says, J Red in chat, what's good? Always stay on your pivot at all times. Shout out to Time, always coming through with the motivational quotes. Appreciate you so much. Lynn says, truth. Hey, Time. Time says, Fani is what these modern black women are today at 18 and 19. The boss B. Where is Fani's husband? Fani's never... women like Fani... I hate to say this. This is going to sound so mean. But I'm sorry, guys. Like, I hope by now you learn my heart. You know, y'all, I rock with y'all, so know my heart. But this is going to sound so mean. But women like Fani don't get married. Women like Fani don't get married, and there's a lot of reasons why they don't get married, but a lot of it is like Lynn was saying, this new modern feminist movement, and specifically these modern waves of feminism. And because they're not looking for equality, they basically want to be superior to men. So that's why Fani always has to feel like, you know, she's in power, because she's a powerful woman, and that's the truth. But she doesn't know how to turn that off. Women that are powerful and in positions of power, sometimes it can be hard for them to turn that off. Sometimes. And it makes them unpleasant partners. Because guess what? No man wants to deal with that attitude. Even the men that claim they like it, they get tired of it eventually. They're lying, and it's just toxic. They just, you know what I mean? Some people just like toxicity. But at the end of the day, women like Fani don't get married. They don't get married because most men can't put up with them. Men that are above her aren't going to put up with her attitude. Men that are below her, basically, she just got to find, if she ever wants to get married, she just got to find a man that's a beta male that's really willing to put up with her shit. That's the truth. That's the truth. She has to find the weakest beta male that still can at least turn her on a little bit. And she just gonna be the dominant alpha male, and he's gonna be the beta male of the beta male of the relationship. That's the only way Fani would ever be able to get married. But she's 100% what these modern women are. She embodies the modern woman, and that's why I say that it's a representation of trash, because you don't want your daughters, your nieces, and your little sisters emulating Fani. You don't want that. You don't want that. Like, because she represents the worst of what modern women are. Of like, you know what I mean? She doesn't represent all modern women. She just represents the worst. Got to be very clear about that. Got to be very clear. She represents the worst. Time says, Lynn, blessings. Yes. Maria says, Jay, my husband and I are traveling to a cabin on Blue Ridge Mountain. Will you give him a shout out? His name is Michael. Shout out to Michael and Maria. You guys are amazing and dope. And yeah, salute. I'm glad you guys are having a great vacation, because that sounds fun. Cabin trips. Shout out to y'all. For real. For real. And yeah, shout out to you too, Michael, because Maria is dope. So I'm glad y'all are happy. Shout out happy. I'm glad. Seriously. Lynn says she did grow up without a mother. So yeah, that's bad. That means that she probably doesn't even know how to be a woman. I mean, she probably doesn't even know. She probably just had her dad as an example, and that's all she had. That's all she had. That's bad. That's bad. I was just having a conversation about cabins, and that sounds so fun. Sorry. Time says, I need my woman soft and gentle and can make some good old buttermilk cornbread and oxtail. He says, if a woman can't make fried chicken, get rid of her ASAP. Well, what if you don't like fried chicken, Tom? What if you like baked? What if you like baked? No, I'm just kidding. No, but I agree. I do agree. I definitely prefer soft and gentle women. And I personally think that soft and gentle women are actually more effective. And dare I say, I hope you guys don't excuse my word choice, but it's true. I think that they're more dangerous than masculine women. I think that a feminine, soft woman is going to be able to get more done than a Fani Willis ever will. She's going to be able to move men in a way that Fani Willis never will. Fani Willis will try to turn it on and try to fake it, but she'll never be able to do what a genuine feminine woman. They actually move. They literally move mountains. Wars have been fought over feminine women. Y'all remember in Game of Thrones when Tyrion told Sir Janos Stent, he said wars have been fought for less. Did y'all see Troy? It was hell Helen of Troy was feminine. She was a feminine woman. Evil, but feminine. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, women like Fani Willis, they're always going to be fighting, and they'll never understand it. They'll always think, and then what kills me is because then they think, or they always point out how everything's so hard for them. And the reason why things are so hard for them is because they're operating in a way that they weren't designed to operate. And that's the truth. They weren't designed to be like men. So when you're playing on a man's playing field, yes, it's going to be harder for you. And men are going to be less likely to help you. And guess what? Guess what? There's a feminine woman who's skirting through life, who's doing things, and everything's easier for her. And it's easier for her because she's being what she was supposed to be, a feminine woman. And that's the truth. I like them soft. I like them soft. Be gentle. Be gentle, because the softer and the more gentle you are, the better that's going to make me as a man. The better that's going to make me, because guess what? You want to protect what you care about, right? You're going to stand up. You don't need to protect something that's stronger, that's as strong as you are, right? Feminine women move mountains. That's the truth. Feminine women move mountains. God, it's great though. It's great. I love it. I love it. I don't see. You don't really like when you have a bad example, and I'm speaking for myself now. When you have bad examples of femininity versus when you see good examples of femininity, it's like night and day. It will literally bring out a strength in you as a man that you never thought that you would experience. If you really care about those types of things. If you really care about it, it's going to bring out the best in you, because you're going to want to protect that. That it genetically is ingrained in you. Everything now is us fighting against nature. Men are fighting against nature when they just want women to do and match their energy and all that kind of stuff. Men that want women to match their energy, you're wrong. You're wrong. You shouldn't want to match energy. Let me be the man and you be the woman. And guess what? Guess what? Let's be great. Let's be great. Let's be great. You're going to bring out a strength in me that I didn't know I had. Just by being feminine, just by being sweet. That's why it was such a big deal a couple years ago when everybody was talking about the whole black women smiling thing. And it was a whole internet kerfuffle. But at the end of the day, the truth is, feminine women move mountains. And I'm going to keep saying that. I believe that from the bottom of my heart. Feminine women move mountains. Fani Willis is not feminine. She's masculine. And that's why everything, she probably feels like the world is coming against her. The weapons that she talked about is because of her. When she got to that church talking about weapons formed against me, that was because of her. It's because of her actions. The things that she does, the energy that she puts out, the things that she invites to herself. And guess what? Just like black culture. So even if you say that Fani is just a woman, guess what? She represents the culture. She represents the culture because she embodies the worst aspects of it. That's the truth. Thank you, Tom, for the comment, because you're right. Like them soft and gentle. Lynn says her view of men is terrible. Yeah, it's true. It's the truth. It is terrible. Most modern women, I hate to say it, they don't have a very good view of men. And even if the disdain doesn't come out through their words, the disdain that they have for men comes out through their actions and how they move and what they do. And it's the truth. Like, you're absolutely right. She says, hi, Michael Maria. Yeah. Maria says, thank you. No, it's no problem. Thank you. I'm glad you stopped by on your way traveling. I appreciate you. Hope you guys have a great trip. Thank you for watching. Seriously. Lynn says, yes, women who cook are very nurturing. Yeah, that's true. That's true. it's true. It's like a lot of things are just a lot of lost art. It's like a lost art now. Honestly, it's like a lost art. But I agree. I like that, and I like that. Time says, a soft and gentle woman I will protect, even if she is not my lady. Yeah, and I feel the same way. I am much less likely to go out of my way and put my life on the line, because they don't understand. A lot of people don't actually understand what it entails, what protection comes. And a lot of that is men being willing to put their life on the line for women. And it's much easier to do that for a soft and gentle woman. I'm just saying, it makes it worth it. But most men, they'll still protect women. I'm just saying that it's much easier to do it when you know that is actually valued or appreciated, or that the woman is just soft, feminine woman. Because guess what? She's not inviting that. Feminine women don't invite that type of energy. They don't deserve it. So guess what? It makes you even more inclined to protect them. Have y'all ever been on YouTube and you'll watch a panel, right? And it'll be a panel of people. And then you got some girls that are really aggressive. And then you got other women, like not girls, but you got some women that are really aggressive. And then you got other women that are not really aggressive. Have you ever known or noticed that the men on the panel will naturally gravitate and are less confrontational, but not just less confrontational, but they're actually more, they're more inclined to defend that woman and her position. And it's because she's feminine. You're more likely to protect feminine women. It's the truth. Women that act like Fani don't need protection. She want to fight herself. Look at her. The way she came on the stand. She sat down, crossed her legs, folded her arms, like oh yeah, like I'm the mob boss. This about to be fun. Let's do it. Time says, big shout out to Mike and Maria. Be safe in your travels today and every day. God bless. Facts. Shout out to y'all. Seriously. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Tani Ubanks. She says she's teaching her daughters not to need a man either. I agree. And that's the danger of it. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name right incorrectly though too. She says she's teaching her daughters not to need a man. And that's usually what you see. These independent women are the ones that are teaching the younger women that they don't need men. So it's like it becomes like a cycle, a spiral effect. And that's why it's so important to encourage actual real women, because those real women are the only ones that can be an example and show a woman. We can, as men, we can sit up and talk about what we like, what we want. But at the end of the day, women are the only ones that can show women how to be women. Just like women can show men to be men. Men have to do that. So at the end of the day, when you have these modern women, when there's modern ideology teaching their daughters, their nieces, giving them bad advice, leading them down the road that they're down towards the wall. They used to, shout out to Kevin Samuels, they call it the wall. Then guess what? You're damning a generation of women right there. And somebody needs to hold these modern women accountable for doing it. Somebody needs to, because they're ruining their lives. They're telling them wrong. And shout out to all the young women who actually are seeing through this and calling these women out, because they're haters. That's really what it is. They're haters. They're hating on you. That's the truth of the matter. They're hating on you. They're jealous. They see you as competition. Because guess what? Even the men their age want you. Thank you for the comment, Tani. That's crazy. Just crazy. Tom says, Lynn, big facts. The woman is the man's neck and inspiration for sacrifice for her. Very true. Very true. You can't operate without the neck. Can't operate with the neck. The man can fight. The man holds the family up It's basically like hold me up so I can hold you down. The man holds the family up. The woman holds him down so that he can hold the family up. You make sure I'm good. You take care of me. Make sure I'm good so that I can make sure that we good. I'll fight the world for you. If you just make sure, just have my back. Have my back. Just give me strength. Inspire me. Inspire me. And this is the thing. I don't want to make this about Kevin Samuels, but that's what he used to always talk about. Feminine, beautiful, inspirational. It's not just some little catchy catchphrase. Women are inspirational. Real women are inspirational. And it's not even because they're trying to be. It's not like you just sit there and say, okay, how am I going to inspire this man today? No, your presence inspires him. Your femininity inspires him. Your beauty inspires him. Your energy inspires him. It makes him want to be better. Real men. Now we're not talking about pookies right now. We're not talking about excuse my French. We're not talking about niggas right now. We're talking about men. It inspires men to be great. It inspires you to want to be better. And there's nothing wrong with that because they'll call you a simp for that. But at the end of the day, real women inspire men. They inspire you. And it's not because of anything that you're trying to do. It's not because you're being conscientious about it. Maybe you are. But genuine femininity, it inspires. It wakes up something inside of you. It makes you want to do for her. It makes you want to protect her. It makes you want to be there for her. It makes you want to support her. You just want to see her be great. That's what inspiration does. When it motivates you to go to work when you don't want to go to work. It motivates you to get that money and to do the best you can and to strive beyond what you thought that you maybe wanted. It makes you want to be great and do great. I'm sorry, that's my soapbox. I'm sorry. Lynn says all true. Very good, Jay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just speaking my mind. That's just how I feel. Tani said, Lynn says, Tani, that's so sad. And yeah, it's very scary that Fani is raising daughters. They're gonna be just like her. And I hate to say it. But they're gonna be just like her. Unless somebody can really step in and show them better, then guess what? They're gonna be just like her because she's showing that example. And usually even you'll see it that when somebody will try to teach them better, then somebody like Fani will come back and she'll be fighting them. She'll be the bitter mom. The bitter mom trying to sabotage the relationship. Oh, I wouldn't deal with that if I was you. Oh, you better not take that. Oh, I wouldn't deal with that. Oh, you're sitting there giving him the side degree and all that kind of stuff. It's scary. It's scary. Maria says, absolutely, 100% come out in their actions. I agree. Lynn says, my husband is the king in my house. That's dope. I love to see it. Tani says, knowing how Atlanta is, he's going to lose the race to this guy anyway. So he might as well just rule the way his heart tells him to. Atlanta worships race, period. He's done. That's a good point. That's a good point. A good point. They call it Black Mecca, but you know, that's a great point. He might lose anyway, so he might as well just do the right thing. He might as well just do the right thing. That's a great point, Tani. Thank you for the comments too. Glad you guys are tuned in. I appreciate everybody for watching. David says, if a man has to fight for masculine energy in his own house, he's too weak to be a fighter outside the house. And I agree with that. But at the same time, you got to think that a lot of these women, They are fighting you for masculine energy. Do you think that a man should have to dominate his woman? Do you think that he should have to dominate his woman, or do you think that she should already come submissive? See, I have an idea, and that idea is that women should be submissive regardless. Women should be submit, and I'm not saying that to every man or just in general. Like you shouldn't be submissive the same way that you are to other men as you are like your husband. I'm saying that women should be submissive and give men the chance to mess up or succeed. You know what I mean? So basically, if he can't handle the responsibilities or whatever, then maybe you should move on. Maybe you shouldn't invest into that. But also at the same time, you have to give him the opportunity to fail or succeed. And I hope that makes sense. Cause yeah. Time says, I believe black women exceptions are too high. A man will date a woman at Walmart, McDonald's, Wendy's, nursing home. Women date on what you have to give. And I agree with that too. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that's true. Men generally don't care anything about what women make or anything like that, their job descriptions. If a man is rocking with you, then he's rocking with you, and he's, you know what I mean, he's not going to take any of that from you. That's just the truth. If a man's rocking with you, you literally could be working at McDonald's and he'll pass over. You know what I mean? Because I always hear women talking about, well, you know, I got a PhD or I got degrees and all that kind of stuff. And men will literally pass over you and your degrees for a girl working at McDonald's or a girl at the bus stop, because guess what? She's feminine and she makes him feel good. She inspires him. She crosses off the dots that matter to men. And guess what? You'll be looking stupid and you'll be alone like Fani Willis. Lynn says that feminine essence is missing in trans women and they just don't get that somehow. Well, yeah, because they're not women. Ooh, sorry, you two, but they're not women. They aren't. They're biologically men, so they'll never have that feminine essence. They can try to emulate it. They can try to pretend, but it's not there. It's not there. Maria says, thank you, Time. David says he'll be too tired to fight outside. Yeah, exactly. You won't have it in you. You won't have it in you. How can you fight in your own house and then have the energy to protect that house from the world? The world is gonna drain you regardless. But that's why we see a lot of men breaking down. A lot of men having mental breakdowns, losing their minds, falling apart, dying early. You know what I mean? Or passing away early. Because guess what? It's too much stress. It's too much. The idea of having to fight against the world on a baseline of you got to fight the world just to survive, just to be alive. Things are going to be hard for you just being a man. Then on top of that, you have to fight to protect other people outside of yourself. So it's not just taking care of yourself, but you have to take care of your tribe. You have to take care of the people that are around you and the people that are under your covering. Guess what? That's not easy. Then on top of that, you're expected to fight the person who's under your covering too. You have to fight your own house and then go out and fight the world too. Fight the world, then come back and fight in your own house. And then you wonder why men are so miserable. You wonder why men are just, you know what I mean? It's insane. It's insane. You're absolutely right, David. Lynn says, I think they will compromise on the decision and not disqualify Fani, but will ask her to step down from DA because of ethics complaints. I can't see her stepping down. I can see Fani being the type where where you gonna have to take her out. You gotta take her out in cuffs. Exactly. Lynn says exactly. They're not women. Lynn says your home should be your sanctuary from the world. Exactly. 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 Time says we men are the giver, not the taker. My pops always told never borrow money from a woman. Use a woman's car or move in with the woman in her place because when she gets upset, she will throw it in your face. And that's true. I think that is true. I think that there's some women that won't throw it in your face as far as like borrowing stuff. But yeah, but the most of them will. Most of them will. And yeah, I live by that same philosophy too. We are supposed to like, what I mean? I don't feel comfortable asking, women like in general for stuff like that. I got told the other day that I'm missing my blessings, but I just don't feel comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? I appreciate it, like if it happens or something like that, but I'm not gonna go out asking for it. Like I've even heard people, I've even heard like guys like panhandling and they panhandle the women, and the woman says, she says, you supposed to be the one giving me money, and even though it sounds bad, I'm not gonna say that you're supposed to just be giving women money just for no reason, but you as men, you should have a certain conviction. You should have a certain conviction about asking women for things, and that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel, and I don't know. I could be off. But Lynn says, good for pops time. Smart man. Yeah, he was. That was great advice. I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth, man. Those I need y'all to really pay attention, man. Those are good things. Like, do not move in with a woman. If y'all gonna live together, y'all better just get y'all own place. get y'all own place together. Get a new place. Don't do that because you'll be moving into her house and then you'll be acclimating to her rules and her lifestyle. It's not gonna work out very well for you. But do what you want. Do what you want. Yes, Tom, I completely 100% agree. We men are not supposed to take or borrow money from a woman. There should be some pride in a man. Yes, exactly. Like men, there's some things that you should have an ego about. And one of those things is borrowing from a woman. I just hate to say it, but it's the truth. Yes, women should be able to support and help you when you down bad. But as a general rule, I hear about this all the time about women holding men down. As a general rule, you should never feel comfortable. You should never feel comfortable as a man just sitting there relying on women. Like to where, the same way that women ask for lunch, and the same way all that kind of stuff, you shouldn't feel comfortable doing that. You shouldn't feel comfortable. It's the truth. You shouldn't, it's not okay. It's not okay. And the truth of the matter is, like, this generation of men, y'all sad because you make you make us look bad. And guess what? The rest of us get treated and mistreated because of the actions of these weak men. That's what's really unfortunate about it. We get mistreated because of the actions of these weak men. And Tom got an ego too. I see. As men, we're supposed to have an ego. That's the truth. People. That's the thing where people try to make masculinity and being masculine a bad thing. No, men are supposed to have an ego. You're supposed to want to be the best, to be better. You're supposed to want to compete. You're supposed to want to be, you know what I mean? You're supposed to want to be depended on. You're supposed to want to be like, you're supposed to, have y'all ever heard the stories about men who compete over the bill, compete over tips, compete over who got the best drinks, who can roll the biggest blunts, who can bring the best weed, all these different things. I understand that, most people might not be into all that stuff, but I'm just saying that whatever it is, men are designed to compete. You want to be the best athlete. You want to know the most about the sports that you talk about. You want to do the best you can. And that's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because men have egos. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why it is that men are, in this day and age, men are shamed for being men. They're shamed for being men. And they're told that it's not okay to be a man. But then at the same time, they're held responsible for not being men. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So at the end of the day, if I have to take a solid stance, I'm going to say, let's just embrace being fully masculine. Forget what they're talking about, because like Time says, that's my ego. That's my ego talking. That's my ego talking. I'd rather just go ahead and let's just go ahead and compete. Let's just compete. Let the losers lose. Do all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, we cannot sit here and just act like it's wrong. It's wrong to have pride. It's not wrong to have pride. It's not wrong to strongly believe and want to be dependent upon. It's not wrong. So all this, men are not a tool, they're a partner. No, I don't believe in that. I believe in partnerships in a very loose sense. I believe that men should be leaders. Men should be leaders. You should be leaders. And it doesn't mean that women don't get a say so. It doesn't mean that women aren't important. It doesn't mean that women aren't valued. But what it does mean is that you need to be out in front. That's what it means. It means you need to be out in front. Men are, and that's the way it was supposed to be. That's literally the way it was supposed to be. And if you notice, the more we try to get away with it, the worse off we end up. And that's black culture. That's the culture that we're in. Because the culture wants you to think that it's bad to be a man. The culture wants you to think that masculinity is wrong, that masculinity is toxic. That's the culture talking. But the culture don't mean you no good. It's okay to be a man. It's okay to be men. Lynn says, I raised an alpha male, very independent, born that way, thankfully. That's great. Love to hear it. Catch 22. Lynn says, I love men. Be yourselves. Yes. And that's the thing. You know, I feel like that's just what it's about. So many men are forced, and it's an effeminization about men. They're trying to feminize men and make it to where men are basically the new women, and they want women to act like men. They want women to act like men, and they want men to act like women. Time speaking facts. He says the point of getting married is your wife never losing faith in you, and how you do that as a man relying on your wife half the time. Yeah. She might stick it out with you. She might hold you down. But in the back of her mind, she's going to resent you for it. And that's the truth. She's going to resent you for it because it's not the way it was supposed to be. It's not the way that it was supposed to be. And she's never going to be happy doing that. And as a real man, you're never going to be happy either. You're never going to be happy relying on women like that. You want to be relied upon. You're never going to be happy doing that. That's the truth. You're never gonna be happy being relied upon that way. But guys, I'm gonna take a short intermission real quick, and then we're gonna get back into this. Looking at Fani, and probably gonna look at her dad a little bit too, because at the end of the day, we have to see where she came from. That's where she came from. That's the person who raised her, and we have to look at him in order to look at her. So yeah, but I'll be right back, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys stick around, or I hope you guys come back. You know, if you don't stick around, but hope you guys come back. Appreciate you. Be right back.
I just met you, but you look. Oh girl, you blow my mind. And I know what I would like to do, but you just keep on talking. I see your dog needs walking. Your folk drive you insane. I know. Of course you ain't the one to blame. Keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking to me, but I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. Sure, I like to listen. It's not like I don't wanna know. It's just that you've been talking to me 3 nights in a row. I think it's time to let go. Forget the past, just lose control. Cause life's too short for yapping. Come on and dance, come give me soul. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking. You keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking, but I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move.
Ba, 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 ba. Essa fantasia foi sentimento e a fotografia, tudo que ficou foi uma poesia e o eterno amor nessa alma vazia. E levou as chances, não sobrou mais nada depois da avalanche, não sobrou mais nada depois da avalanche, não sobrou mais nada. Quando o piano já não quer mais tocar e as teclas pretas não saem do lugar, quando o corno inglês ter que ir pro xadrez porque não tem mais onde ficar. Quando o prelúdio nem começar e a semibreve cansar de respirar, quando o trombone não quiser assoprar e os dedos da harpa não vão dedilhar, quando todo mundo cantar a capela, porque a orquestra.
What's going on, y'all? So we back. How y'all been? I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Let's get back to these comment section and see where we was at. So, Time says the point of getting married is for your wife to never lose faith in you. Okay, so we got that. Let's see. Lynn says we need more shows like Gunsmoke and The Rifleman. Morality plays. Yes. Yeah, I also just think we just need more like actual masculine shows in general, because it's not a lot. We don't see a lot of masculine shows. Everything, if you notice, everything on TV is always has the men either in like negative roles or effeminate roles. They always trying to make them gay, bisexual, or something like that. You know, they trying to make them weak. They trying to make the women seem better than them and all that kind of stuff. It's like, where's the shows where it's just, you know, men just being men? Even just shows like like Walker, Texas Ranger, where they show men in positive lights. We don't have that anymore. We just don't have that. Time says, read in today's world, as men, when you get married, you have to put 1,000% in it. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. It's the truth. You have to put 1,000% in it. And to be honest, it's just something you just got to accept. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. It's just something you just have to accept. And as you should. I mean, as you should. You should want to put everything you have into it. And women should put everything they have into being good wives and stuff like that too. It's just that it's just different. You know what I mean? It's different. You got different roles, and that's the thing people don't understand is we have different roles. Tani says, I still hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sorry if I'm not. Tani says, I'd love to interview her ex-husband. Oh, I would too. I'm not gonna cap. I imagine the dirt that he probably got on her. She was probably the blues. I could just imagine the dirt Nathan Wade probably has on her. He just, you know, in her own words, he's a Southern gentleman. Tanise says, I know he's watching these proceedings like, I'm so glad we're divorced. To shake my head. Yeah. And I know I said women like her will never get married, but you know, they might have one in them, but they never gonna stay married. They're never gonna be happy because she's never gonna let that go. She's never gonna let that side of her go. And she's just probably just an unpleasant person to live with. And that's just, it's not just me just saying that. That's based off of her actions. It's her actions. Lynn says you'll make a great husband, Jay. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I'd be loyal. I'd be good. You know what I mean? But maybe. Yeah, it'd be nice. It would be nice, but it's scary out here. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's scary out here. But yeah, I mean, I personally would strive to be. It's one of my goals to be. And I definitely wouldn't be on a lot of this rah-rah nonsense that a lot of these men are on. And I'm not saying that to throw men under the bus. It's just ridiculous. I'm a man. I listen to men talk, and it's just a lot of the way. It's not even so much of how they treat their wives. It's just the way that they talk and say things. I just don't want that to be me. So, I mean, yeah, if it's meant to be, then I think I would strive, and I think it'd be one of my personal goals to be a great husband. That's one thing that I believe is the truest test of a man's character, is the type of husband you are. It's true. I don't believe in like simping. I don't think I'd be a simp either too. So I like to think I'd be decent. You know, I appreciate it. Thank you. So let's get back to what I was talking about, because we have to really examine what the culture expects from us. And like I said, it's just Fani is just she just exemplifies just everything that is just negative about black culture. And even just the fact of how they're able to sit up and just pretend like she's doing nothing wrong. They just sit up and pretend like she's doing nothing wrong. And it's sad.
District Attorney Fani, Fani. Last name is Willis.
Oh, sorry about that.
Ms. Willis, how did you know to come into the courtroom right then?
There were people I was pacing in my office.
Okay.
And
all that again. Sorry guys, my phone tripping. You know,
heard someone yell, his testimony is done. It only made sense to me that I would be your next witness. And I've been very anxious to have this conversation.
Sorry about that.
So I ran to the courtroom.
So as soon as you heard that Mr. Wade was done testifying, that's when you just assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
Did you listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Let's look at her dad. Because at the end of the day, this is where she came from. This is the guy who raised her.
Thank you.
It's the guy who raised her. So let's look at the man behind Fani Willis.
I do.
Please state the spelling full name for the court.
My name is John Clifford Floyd III.
Say, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you tell the court, are you currently retired?
Yes, I am.
And prior to being retired, can you...
I'm sorry, guys. I just want to see that suit. Just want to see that suit.
May I approach the witness quickly?
Thank you.
breasted. 4-on-2, 6.
I do.
Oh, yeah, 6-on-2.
My name is John Clifford Floyd III.
I like a good double-breasted suit, guys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you tell the court, are you currently retired?
Yes, I am.
And prior to being retired?
Oh, God. I saw somebody saying that Lynn says he's an ex-Black Panther. That's crazy. That's insane. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, God. Jesus. Oh, God. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Lynn says OG grifter. Isn't he an attorney too? So it's like he a Black Panther and an attorney. That's a bad combination. Oh, no, there's nothing worse than an activist attorney. Oh my goodness gracious.
Can you tell the court a little bit about, did you work in the legal career? Were you a lawyer?
I was an attorney. I practiced law. I've probably tried 1,000 cases. About 50% of my practice was criminal law. 25% of it was family law, and the rest was whatever walked through the front door could pay for it.
Okay. And
Could we wait 1 second? I think the governor's come back. He might
I do. My calendar shows it was October 26, 2020.
What do you champion?
All right. And would defense counsel accept it as a stipulation, or is there any follow-up questioning needed on that? Mr. Barnes is still considered under oath on this point. All right. I'll just look for a show of hands or for someone to speak now on Zoom, and hearing none. Thank you, sir. You're excused.
And, sir, can you tell the court, are you from Atlanta?
No, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. I spent most of my legal career, I would say, in Washington, D.C. was kind of the circle, but I've tried cases all over the country. And
Lynn says the violent domestic revolutionaries from the 70s run our country now. Big facts. Big facts. It's kind of it's really scary. Big facts. She says Fani's the spawn. She's a spawn or something.
tried the longest. I was the first lawyer to try an international criminal court. I was with the international
woman. B. Fry says, respect that queen. So I'm not. Oh man.
Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda. I was in trial there for 4.5 years in Arusha, Tanzania, and Hague in the Netherlands.
Okay. And when you weren't there, it sounds like the kind of center of gravity was Washington, D.C.
Correct, but I've tried cases in West Virginia, Maryland, Florida, California.
All over.
Yes.
And do you, sir, can you tell the court, do you have any children?
I have one daughter, Fani Willis.
Okay. And I want to direct your attention back to 2019, okay?
Yes.
Back in 2019, can you tell the court, did you move here to Atlanta?
I was living in Johannesburg, South Africa. And unfortunately, for some reasons, I could not get an extended visa. When I retired from the practice of law in 2018, I moved to South Africa. And I had to leave South Africa, and I did then come to Atlanta.
Okay, and do you...
Yo, man. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh, my goodness gracious. This guy got kicked out of Africa. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but you know, people always love to say you go back to Africa and just just kicked out. They just sent you packing. They sent you packing, guy. That's bad. That's bad. Lynn said such a fraud she said such a fraud this dude is. This dude. Yeah. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so I assume if Fanny had to get it from somewhere, yeah, I agree. I agree, and especially when he was talking about that. That cash, having cash and sitting around your house, and that's a black thing. That's not a black thing. That's a criminal thing. If we're being honest, that's a criminal thing. Black people don't do that. Not in general. Not in general. They don't keep thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. No, that's a criminal thing. You telling her to do that because you dealing with criminals. You know what I'm saying? You deal with criminals. You know criminals. So you doing it because you do it. Maybe you a criminal. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. Gene Holtray says you should show more of Fani Willis' testimony with Ashley Merchant. Big resentful attitude. She does not like Ashley Merchant. Yeah, I actually noticed that. I noticed that too. I mean, I'm gonna go back to it in a minute. I just wanted to just get a little bit and actually just really just get an idea of what the spawn, like where she spawned from and where she was getting that energy from. Because yeah, she does not like Ashley Merchant, and I think it's because of the things that Ashley Merchant was accusing her of, and the fact that Ashley Merchant actually had the audacity to accuse Fani Willis of doing the things that she's being accused of. I think she's angry that Ashley Merchant had the nerve to actually bring allegations against her. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to sit there and watch this guy. I really don't, because I already know how this is gonna be. And the fact, knowing beforehand that he's a Black Panther, and I know that I don't have tolerance for Marxists. I don't. So we're gonna go back to Ashley Merchant.
Hold on! Don't skip it. You've got to try AFK Journey. Register now and get 10 free recruits.
Her husband. And so as life circumstances worked, my dad was begging me to leave the house. He was afraid for me, afraid for his grandchildren. She wanted someone to take over her lease so that she didn't, have to pay a fee or get abandoned. And so I don't remember when, but probably March or April of 21, I moved in and take over her lease.
And did you pay her or did you pay the leasing agent?
No, I don't even know who the leasing agent was. I paid her.
You paid her. Did you pay her cash or did you use a card?
There were some times that I would give her cash, but mostly I paid her via Cash App.
Is subleasing legal in Georgia? I'm just curious, because that might be another another thing that she's dealing with. Is subleasing legal in Georgia? Because if she wasn't paying a leasing agent, then she was paying her friend, and yeah. Lynn says Ashley has a distinguished husband. Yeah. And that plays a part in it too, because at the end of the day, Ashley Merchant is more feminine than Fani Willis is. So of course, the fact that she's not only just the fact that she's married and Fani Willis isn't, she actually is working with her husband. They work together in practice. That's crazy.
Be the most convenient thing. So I would not only give her rent, but then like when the utilities would come in, whatever the utility was, she might be like, I need $70, I need $100, whatever it was. And we never had a problem with money. Whatever she told me it was, I never asked to see a bill. I never questioned her. I just gave it to her.
What percentage would you say you paid cash versus Cash App?
Oh, the vast majority was Cash App. I don't know what percentage. I'm not going to guess that.
If she paid her in Cash App, then that means that there's a record of it. That means that there's a record. If she paid her in Cash App, that means that there's a record of her paying that money. So if I was them, I'd be asking to subpoena those records too, because at the end of the day, might as well go for broke. It's mean as she's acting.
But the vast majority was Cash App. But there would be times she would say, this bill came in at $70. Here goes $70.
Did you have a monthly rent amount that you paid her?
I can't remember. It was $1,400, $1,500. I can't remember what it was. And it would vary, which I don't understand to this day. But like I said, I never questioned her.
When did you move out?
She said it was, that's what I paid.
When did you move out?
I abruptly moved out in February, either late January or early February of 22.
Of 22?
Yes,
February 2022, is that what you said?
Just for integrity, yes, it is legal. It is legal to sublease in Georgia, permitted that you have permission from the landlord. So I'm going to assume that the woman got permission, and so yeah, not about to lie on this woman.
January, February of 22. I believe it is January, but I paid her half the rent of February of 22 is what I remember. And because I was offering to pay the whole rent, even though I didn't live there, I didn't think it was right. And I ended up just paying her half the rent.
So that's after you moved out. You said you paid her half of that. Okay. And the time that you said you had to move out of your house because you were scared, did your dad stay there at your house?
My father was concerned. Yes, we were both concerned.
Okay. But he remained there.
My father was 80 years old. He would have been 79. He was.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Once again, it's the same issue that, like I said, this is the same thing with them. They can't answer yes or no questions. They can't answer yes or no questions. Look, what's so hard about saying, yeah, he stayed there? Oh, I know, because you moved out for your safety. That's insane. So you moved out for your safety, but he stayed there knowing that you possibly could still have people coming there. And you gave testimony talking about how he was afraid and all this kind of stuff. And like, I get it. He was stubborn old man. But at the end of the day, you do got to understand that it doesn't make sense. To the average observer, the average person, the average Joe with common sense, what you're saying doesn't compute. The math is not mathing.
Scared to death of COVID. You have to go back to when this was. My father's an older man. I wanted him to move out. We had some discussions about him moving out, and what he decided was the risk of COVID was more dangerous than the risk of the people that were threatening.
But not dangerous, but it's so dangerous that he would force you to move out. He can force you to move out, but he can't leave because of COVID.
Typical man, more worried about his daughter and his grandchildren than his own safety. You'll get to meet him, and you'll understand he doesn't scare too easily.
So his grandkids were living at the house as well at that time?
Well, I don't know how old your children are, but when you have adult children, they leave and they come back. They leave and they come back. So there have been periods of time that they're there, they come, they do whatever they want to do. Children do what children do. As long as their mother has a house, they'll come to it. Unfortunately, now the threats because of this case have gotten so extreme. I just pay a mortgage and no one lives there.
And that's what I was going to ask you. So when you moved out in, I think you said April 2021, you left your dad and your two kids at the house?
My dad and my two kids were not at the house.
They were not? Okay, so they didn't still live at your house?
My youngest daughter certainly did not live there.
Look at that attitude. You see that attitude, that frustration? You didn't answer the question, ma'am. I'm just saying, you didn't answer the question. And that's why they tell you when you up on the stand, answer the question and then give your explanation. When you start with an explanation, your answer can get lost in that explanation. You're trying to bury it, and that's what it is. The truth of the matter is they either were staying there or they weren't staying there. And if they weren't staying there, say why they weren't staying there. Is that so hard to understand? Am I tripping? Maria says, poor Fani is the victim. Yeah, poor Fani. Poor Fani. Poor Fani. Poor Fani.
My oldest daughter would come back and forth. I can't say month for month when she was there or when she was not there. I know that she has been there post me moving out. At this time, no one is at my house.
Okay. So at some point after you moved out for the safety reasons, at least one of your children did come back.
Ms. Merchant, can we get to either the relationship or the financial benefit?
Yes. Let's see, we were back at 2021. So you were still friends with Miss Yeardy then. Were you also friends with Mr. Bradley?
I've never been friends with Mr. Bradley.
You've never been friends with Mr. Bradley?
No, I don't consider us to be friends. I don't dislike Mr. Bradley, but I don't consider us to be friends.
Is he someone that you would have in your phone and you would message with?
I might have text messaged him.
Okay. Would you text message him and Mr. Wade on the same conversations?
I don't recall doing that, but if it happened, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, so that wouldn't surprise you, the three of you. Okay. How frequently would you think that the three of you would have texted
Not
in a group
very,
chat?
I wouldn't think very often, but you're asking me to recall. I don't even know what time period you're asking me to recall, but I'm not going to speak to that because I just really don't know the answer to that. And so I don't want to speculate as to how often that would happen. But it's not out of my practice to text two people on one text message. So if you told me that happened and showed it to me, it wouldn't surprise me, although I have no recollection of it.
But there would be some record of it in your phone, or the phone records would have some record of those texts.
Perhaps.
Talk about, you said that sometimes you paid Miss Yurdy cash.
I don't
when
think
you
I have-
went,
I'm sorry.
when you went on vacation with Mr. Wade, let's just go one by one. Let's start with the first one. What's the first time you went on vacation with Mr. Wade?
I think the first time we went on vacation was around April of 22, and it's a vacation is a stretch, but I'm trying to be comprehensive. I recall April of 22. His birthday is March the 18th. So that would have been his 49th birthday. I took him to like Tennessee for the day. I think we went to a museum. I think we might have stayed the night. I'm not sure, but I mean, Tennessee's kind of hard to call a vacation, but I just am trying to be inclusive. And it, like I said, I know it wasn't more than a day.
So you didn't spend the night?
I think that we did. That's what I'm telling you. I think that there's a possibility that we stayed that night in April of 22.
Who paid for the hotel?
I think I did. It was his birthday.
And would you have used a credit card?
Probably maybe a debit.
Too many subscriptions? You can keep track of them with Rocket Money. I just found out that I've still been paying for Prime after I canceled my account 3 years ago. So my friend got me on the Rocket Money app to help me manage my subscriptions. The app shows you all of your expenses in one place. They make it really easy to link your accounts, and in minutes, I was shocked to find out that I'd been paying for not only Prime.
When I started dating Mr. Wade, it was right around.
All right, let's go to the comments. It says her daughters are probably horrid. Time says Fani has an old school dad from Martin Luther King days. He seemed like a black man that grew up with a privilege because most black people didn't have a safe in their house. Big Mama hide that money. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like he's talking about something that's a black thing. That's not a black thing. No, that's a criminal thing. That's a criminal thing. Most black people didn't have money, just that much cash money to sit there and be having safes in their house. No, they put it underneath a bed or something like that. It's just full of it. I know BS when I hear it. Maria says that's a lie. Yeah. Maria says that's a lie. I'm referring to Fani just now saying that her first vacation with Wade was April 2022. 2022. I believe you. I knew exactly what you meant. Yeah, she's something else. She's something else. She's definitely something else. Like, goodness gracious. It's an absolute lie. It's an absolute lie. Nothing that they said. And shout out to B Fry, but this is what I mean. It's like she's lying. She's lying. But yeah, I guess everything that she says is because it was crossed, and I guess everything that she said is true. So thanks for the comments, guys. I appreciate it. Maria says she makes me sick. I agree. She kind of turns my stomach too. I'm not even gonna lie. Let's see.
Around then,
April 2022?
22. Yes,
2022.
it was 22. You know, it's not like when you're in grade school and you send a little letter and it says, will you be my girlfriend, and you check it. I don't know the day that we started seeing each other, but it was early 22 is my recollection.
Okay, early 22. And you all went to Florida on vacation as well?
I don't recall going to Florida on vacation with him.
You never went to Florida with Mr. Wade?
When we went to get on the cruise ship, we went to Miami.
Okay, that's the only time that you went to Florida with him?
I think we went to Miami and spent the night. That's my recollection.
Okay.
I think we spent the night. That's my recollection. Okay. I think we spent one night so that we wouldn't miss the ship. That's my recollection of our vacation.
Paid for that hotel?
In Miami? I don't remember that.
And how'd you get to Miami?
We would have flown. And we've done that, so that I'm clear, we've done that twice. I think one time we stayed, and I honestly can't tell you, did we stay when the ship left or did we stay when the ship came back? I also can't tell you, so there's 2 cruises out of Miami. There's one that's in that October time period that was with his mom. And then there was another that was a New Year's Eve trip. I know I paid for the New Year's Eve trip because the tickets were $697 each. And I thought this is ridiculous that the tickets are $700 to go to Miami. But when you travel during New Year's Eve, you know, they get you.
So let's just back up and talk about the first time that you went to Florida with Mr. Wade. That was the time that you said you stayed in Miami at the hotel the first night?
That's the time I told you I am not sure. So I'm not sure of 2 things. So I want to make sure that my testimony is clear. I'm not sure if
all right, guys, let's look at the comments real quick. Red Time says most of Southern men are not leaving. Look at what happened in New Orleans with them black folks. They was not leaving their homes. Yeah, I think that's a valid point. I think that's valid. Maria says they went to Florida back in 2020. Merchant knows that. That's the reason she grilled her about the Florida trip. That's crazy. That's crazy. Just the amount of lies. When will it stop? Lynn says she brought her father in to lie for her. When will it stop? I mean, she's just a gross person. It's the truth. She's a gross person. Her wickedness knows no bounds. That's what I'm convinced of.
stayed in Miami on the October trip. I'm not sure if we stayed in Miami on the December trip. I just can't remember that. And I also don't remember, so that the record is clear, I don't remember if the necessity was as we got on the ship or we got off the ship. But I do remember there was a night spent in Miami because either whatever, I don't remember. But I think that there was a night spent in Miami.
That cruise is the one that you took in October, right?
Ma'am, if you have something to refresh my recollection, I'm intentionally trying to not be difficult with you, but I don't want to make up something.
Right.
I'm trying not to be difficult with you, so I'm going to be difficult with you. Okay. Lynn says she's extremely immature, and she's absolutely right.
I know that on one of those 2 trips, we stayed in Miami. I am not sure right now. You're asking me about.
Oh, I'm sorry, you misunderstood. I was not asking you which night you stayed in Miami. I'm asking if you took a cruise in October 2022 with Mr. Wade.
Yes, and his mom.
And his mother. That's what I was asking.
Yes.
Is that the first time you met his mother?
Yes.
It was on that cruise. And that was Royal Caribbean, I believe?
I honestly don't remember what ship. I know we've taken 2 cruises. I don't know what the ships were.
But he paid for the flight and the cruise on Royal Caribbean that time.
So yes, he paid. He is the original one that does it. He has something called, Mr. Wade is a world traveler. I'm not as versed as him. He's been to 6 of the 7 continents. And so he has both a personal travel agent and he also has a cruise travel agent. I don't know anything about either of those kind of travel agents. So he is the one that would book the travel, but we need to be clear when we're talking about just because he booked it doesn't mean, like, I don't consider him having taken me anyplace. Let me just be honest. The only one that's ever taken somebody someplace is for his 50th birthday. I consider that I took him to Belize. And I took him to Belize because I don't want to discuss his personal business, but I'm happy Mr. Wade is still here with us. And I did 50 big, very big.
So still on that October Royal Caribbean cruise, even though he had a travel agent. I'm sorry?
If you do me a favor, I don't know what cruise ship, what time. So if you'll help me and say October cruise with Mama or the New Year's Eve trip with his sisters, I'll be able to, we can communicate. I just don't know what ship.
October cruise with Mama. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He paid for the cruise and the flights for that trip.
October cruise with Mama.
So he called his cruise agent and he booked that through them because he has a cruise agent.
Right.
He also has a regular agent. I don't know the cruise agent's name.
So I wasn't asking about his travel agent. I was just asking
but
if
I'm
he
trying
paid
to,
for those.
He did not, though.
Okay.
Because the reason I consider that he did not is I gave him his money back.
And I was about to ask that. But initially, he paid for that.
Yeah, he called his cruise agent. Like, I think they have his card on record. They do whatever.
Okay. So initially, he paid for the cruise and the flight to Miami and the Royal.
Sorry, guys. I gotta take a real quick intermission. Sorry about this. My bad. I'll be right back. Sorry.
I know that I just met you, but you look, oh girl, you blow my mind. I know what I would like to do, but you just keep on talking. I see your dog needs walking. Your folk drive you insane. I know, yeah, that's true. Of course, you ain't the one to blame. Keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking to me. But I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. Sure, I like to listen. It's not like I don't wanna know. It's just that you've been talking to me 3 nights in a row. I think it's time to let go. Forget the past, just lose control. Cause life's too short for yapping. Come on and dance, come give me soul. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking to me.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Let's look at these comments real quick. Maria says, so she discussed his personal business, but she did talk about it. Yeah, she told a lot of his personal business. Kind of embarrassing, really. Lynn says that man had no plans for her. Oh man. Maria said she didn't want to. Lynn says, for an attorney, she has no head for details. Was she a special ed student at law school? Oh my God. Lynn is ruthless. She probably was in Terrence class. Her and Terrence Bradley was probably in the same class. Goodness gracious. Oh my God. Yeah. That was funny. Oh boy. Jean says it's about to get good. And she said, Ashley Merchant gives Fani plenty of opportunities to perjure herself. Projection, hypocrisy, and lies. Quite the spectacle. Yeah, this definitely was something to watch. I'll tell you that. Maria says, Lynn. Yeah, Lynn is ruthless. I love it, though.
Caribbean cruise.
And my understanding of that October cruise is like it was a package the lady did for him.
So, and I'll get to the reimbursements and all that. I'm just trying to confirm he paid for the flight and the cruise in October.
And I think that when you say things that way, I want this record to be
Initially.
abundantly clear.
Yes or no, woman? Yes or no?
That he calls his travel agent, he calls his cruise agent. They do whatever he tells them. He's like on a first name basis with these people. They do it, and then he tells me how much it is, and I give him the money back. I don't, just like you're asking me about the money with Robin, I don't do my friends like that. So if you tell me it's a G, then you're going to get $1,000. Whatever it is, I didn't ever make him produce receipts to me. Whatever he told me it was, I gave him the money back.
Isn't it true that he paid for the cruise and the flight on his credit card? I'm not asking about reimbursement or after. He used his credit card to buy the cruise and buy the flight.
Break it down.
I have no
Break
idea
it down.
how he paid for it, if it's a credit card, if it's a debit card, but certainly he called his cruise agent. You know, like how many people have a cruise agent? He calls his cruise agent, tells them where they want to go. They tell him what's booked. And you have to remember, he paid for, that initial was me, him, and his mother.
And then after that cruise, you all flew to Aruba and spent a couple days in a hotel there, correct?
Right, and his mother was not happy
He
that we left her
initially
behind.
paid for that. He initially paid for that.
For Aruba, yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about both of those. I know he initially paid for it. Did you pay him back?
For the cruise and for Aruba, yeah, I gave him his money before we ever went on that trip.
You gave him cash before you ever went on the trip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you got cash to pay him back on these trips, would you go to the ATM?
No, lady.
You would not go to the ATM?
No.
Okay. So Fulton County pays you direct deposit, I assume?
Yes, Fulton County and the state of Georgia both pay me direct deposits.
Okay. So the cash that you would pay him, you wouldn't get it out of the bank?
I have money in my house.
You have money in your house. So it was just money that was there?
When you meet my father, he's going to tell you as a woman, you should always have, which I don't have, so let's don't tell him that. You should have at least 6 months in cash at your house at all times. Now, I don't know why this old black man feels like that, but he does. When we were growing up, my daddy had 3 safes in the house. So my father's bought me a lockbox, and I always keep cash in the house. Now, I don't do it to the degree that my father would do it, so he would probably be ashamed with me, but I always have cash at the house. That has been, I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to, because I don't go on many dates. But when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from, if it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is fungible. We've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you.
Whoa. Did you hear what she just said? Did you hear what she just said? Oh, golly. Did you hear what she just said? Did you hear what she just said? I took a large amount of money out of my campaign, and I kept that. Now, if anybody that was in here last night, you remember B. Fry was talking about that it was her money, right? Am I tripping? Did I hear her wrong? I just want to know, did I hear her wrong? But she said that she took money out of her campaign, which is elite. That's not, you can't do that. You can't do that. She just said she had money out of her campaign. So for all the people saying that she didn't do anything wrong, or there is she's innocent. She's not innocent. Like, the fact is, what it is all this dirt that she's been doing is just piling up. And now, guess what? She picked the wrong fight, and now they're trying to expose it. She's trying to expose it.
I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today as I.
Jean says, Fani Willis sure is talkative. Yeah, she sure can talk. That's what I'm saying. Could you imagine having to live with that? Go home to that every day? Wake up to that every morning?
Would normally have, but I'm building back up now. So you just put money in. It's a very good practice. I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from.
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me. What you asked me for is, when did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No, it's important. You said, where did the money come from? And I need to tell you where the money came
don't
from.
let her do
When
that to
there.
you.
What I am
Ashley.
trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No, it's important. You said, where did the money come from? And
Ashley, don't let her do that to you. You are the attorney. You're asking the questions. Y'all are on equal footing right now. That's not the DA. Hold on. We got some fun. We about to have some fun. Let's see. I can tell Fani talk back to her. Have time. Greg Reisinger, welcome to the fire, buddy. Welcome to the fire. 5 people watching is all you need to know that you should do something else. Well, what you got to say about it? You smart enough to prove me wrong? Or you can cam up if you want to. You cam up and we can have a conversation while you probably don't know what you're talking about. So come on. Come on, Greg, bring the smoke. Bring the smoke. I'm ready. What have I said that's wrong? What do you have a problem with? Or, in fact, do you want to defend this trash culture, Greg? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I want to know. I want to know. Are you willing to stop being a keyboard warrior behind an avatar, or you want to actually have a conversation about why what I'm saying is wrong, or why you have a problem with what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the more you're a keyboard warrior, the more you prove my point. So let's hear it. Let's hear it, Greg. Let's hear it. But you're not gonna take me up on that. You're not gonna take me up on that. 5 people watching is all you need to something. I'm a small YouTuber. How many people do you think is gonna be watching? People kill me with that stupid shit. No, I'm sorry. I'm about to, excuse my French, but people kill me with that stupid shit. Look how many fucking subscribers I got. I'm a small YouTuber. What does that even mean? Like, what is, like, I haven't been doing this that long. I'm a growing YouTuber. You saying that is not an insult to me. What do you think, I'm a kid or something? I'm not no kid. What are you talking about? Find something else to do. What the fuck does that mean? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, people like that just piss me off, because what are you talking about? What is, like, you sitting over here, don't have nothing constructive to say. Like, at least B. Fry will at least go back and forth and try to substantiate what he's saying. People like this, you mad about the title. Okay, whatever. You mad about the title? You want to defend black culture then? You want to defend it? Like, do you want to defend black culture? Do you want to defend how this isn't trash? Do you want to defend why what I'm saying is wrong? Do you want to defend this whore? Golly. Shit. Sorry. God. My bad. Sorry, guy. Maria says look forward to getting there and relaxing for a bit. Oh yeah, she was saying she's almost at the cabin. Oh yeah. Tom saying be safe. Yeah, be safe. Glad you enjoying your trip. Or almost there. Tom saying Pete Byron. Gene says ignore that guy. Keep rocking. I'm sorry. Lynn says, yep. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. I'm get back to it.
Tell you where the money came from. And so for many years, I have kept money in my house. That money.
It's not that I hate trolls. is that I don't like people that can't substantiate their positions. You know what I mean? If you're going to disagree, disagree. But it's like, get in here and speak your mind. Don't just sit here and just talk about, oh, no, oh, that just says a lot. What does it say? What does it say? Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna cam up and debate me. So I mean, what's the point? You're just gonna run away. And then the minute I start talking, then he goes away. Like, come on. Come on. I apologize, y'all. Let's get back to it.
My worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house at cash. At all times, there's going to be cash in my house or wherever I'm laying my head.
The money that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from.
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
You know which job it came from. Did it come from Fulton County or did it come from a private job?
It came from, what are you talking about? So
you're not a what? What is she about to say? You're not a lawyer? You're not a lawyer, right? You don't remember where you got your money from. That's crazy to me. You don't remember where you got your money from, Fani?
Private job, because before I was DA, I was in private practice. So I earned money during that time period. That's probably in there.
You don't know
could have. What do you mean? I don't know where it came from. I
understand the situation. We can move on.
Okay, thanks. Same with Aruba. You don't know where that cash came from either, right?
Ma'am, you are mischaracterizing my testimony greatly. I'm not going to allow you to mischaracterize my testimony. I know that I keep money in my house. The amounts of money I gave Mr. Wade, it was never that serious. I don't think I've ever handed him more than $2,500 in a reimbursement. So we're not talking about $20,000 in cash. I don't have $20,000 in cash right now. The most I ever gave him, I know I gave him $2,500 when we went to Belize, because we went to one hotel and then we went to a second hotel. That $2,500 I actually gave him while we were still in Belize. I know that the Aruba trip.
She's lying, man. She's lying. She's lying. Most women are not giving. I'm sorry. Look, I understand that people go Dutch and all that stuff, but you're not giving back that money. You're not. You're not. You're not. You're not giving back that money. You're not paying this man $2,500 for y'all to go out of the country on no trip. I don't care how much you try to pretend like you some big feminist, Fani. You're not fooling nobody. I can smell the BS through the screen.
You described with his mom, I think I gave him about $2,000 for that trip, for like total.
His mom went to Aruba with you?
The Aruba trip. So I consider that to be one trip. So we got off of a cruise ship and then we went to Aruba, which is why I cannot remember, is that the time that we had to stay in Miami to wait for the flight for Aruba. So I consider that one trip, that we didn't come back to Atlanta and leave. We flew down to Miami. We got on a cruise ship. We spent a couple of days with his mama. We came back to Miami. When we came back to Miami, either that day or the next day, we flew to Aruba. We spent a few days in Aruba and we came back. That was really one trip. Even though we went two places, it was one trip.
Just so y'all know, I appreciate y'all for watching. For real, I appreciate y'all for kicking it with me. Sorry about that. For real. Maria says, "Time, I'm still here. I was telling the troll bye." Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Maria, Lynn, Jean, Time. Appreciate everybody that's watching. You guys are dope. I rock with you.
So let's talk about the California trip. Is that when you were moving your daughter out to California? When you all went, or did you have two trips to California?
My daughter doesn't live in California.
Did she ever live in California?
I'm not discussing to you the location of my child.
So how many times did you go with Mr. Wade?
That's a yes or no question, isn't it? If she didn't ever live there, it's yes and well. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's court. It's court. How you get to tell somebody what you're not gonna answer? I'm sorry, no, that doesn't make sense. How you get to tell somebody, I'm not gonna tell you that? This is court.
California.
Once.
And you all stayed in Napa Valley, and he paid for the plane tickets and the hotel?
He paid for the plane tickets and the hotel.
And what did you pay for on that trip?
I gave him much less cash that time, probably $400 or $500, and then I paid for.
She's being Maria. You are absolutely right. She's absolutely being defiant. She's she's consistent about it too. She's been defiant. She's been defiant, and she's being actively defiant. And it's really embarrassing to watch because, like I said earlier, she's literally what these young girls' role model is supposed to be, and she's up here acting a fool in front of for the world to see. The world is watching you. The world is watching you, and you acting a fool like this. It's sad. It's sad.
A bunch of stuff. I think we did 2 different wine tours that you do, which are pretty expensive. I think I bought him. He likes wine. I don't really like wine, to be honest with you. I like Grey Goose. I bought him a bottle of wine while we were there, and the sippings that you.
Man, Fani a freak. Fani is a freak. Wow. Jesus Christ.
I can't remember how many, like 4 or 5 different places you go. I remember we went to
like that white
to this place that they do pairings. That was the most expensive thing that I think that we did while we were there. So they would pair champagne, chocolate, and caviar. It was a 3, and it was like 3 different things: Sweden, Russia, someplace else. I'll make that up, but that was the most expensive thing we did that trip, and I paid for that.
You pay cash
for us doing that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that trip did not cost me a lot of money. I might have took like $750 in cash on me because we weren't gone very long.
I'd only asked if you paid in cash. I don't even know the amounts.
When I travel, I always take cash.
And is the cash that you keep in your house, or do you keep it at the condo that you were living in?
So at that point, it wouldn't be at my house, and I'm sorry if I was not clear. The money would be wherever I laid my head. So I wouldn't leave the money at the house. So if I was unclear, no. Money's going to be where I stay.
How much did you pay for your trip to Panama?
To where?
Panama, I believe.
I didn't go to Panama.
I may have the location wrong.
I never went to Panama.
So
Mr. Wade went to Panama with his frat brother.
Oh, he went to Panama with his frat brothers. So tell me about, let's see. So I want to make sure I've got them. I've got Belize. You already covered Belize. You covered the...
So let me tell you our real trips. In October, we went on the cruise with his mom. We got back from the cruise with his mom, and we went to Aruba. I consider that one trip. Second trip, New Year's Eve, we went on a cruise to the Bahamas. That's the second trip. I want to make sure I get this right. Third trip, 100% on me. I think he might have spent $200 on that entire trip. We went to Belize. That was my trip. That was, his 50th. And then Napa Valley, we went around May. I don't know the dates, but it seems to me like it was close to Mother's Day.
I know there are people probably wondering why, with the topic of the video that I'm choosing to play this specific clip, is because I'm building a case study. And this is a case study. I've been doing this or looking at this from the perspective of this is what happens when a feminine woman and a masculine woman, when they clash. And I'm not saying Ashley Merchant is the most feminine woman. I'm just saying that she acts like a woman and Fani Willis acts like a man. So that's why this is important, because Fani Willis and her masculinity and the way that she behaves and carries herself in this trial and the way that Black culture, the Black community responds to it, this is why I say that it's trash. Because the way that she carries herself is the way that other women carry themselves and the way that women looking up to her will carry themselves. And to be honest, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. And when people give her the passes, that is basically saying that it's okay. It's saying that it's okay for the best of us to go out and make us look bad. You know what I mean? The best of us can go out, do whatever, don't have to have any kind of integrity, don't have to have any kind of morals, don't have to have any kind of standards about themselves, but yet and still they can still remain the best of us. That's why Black culture is trash, because any other community, they do not continuously embrace and support the worst people in that society. No, they don't. They shun them. They shame them. And the black community is the only community where it's acceptable to be the worst kind of person and to be in a position where people look up to you. That's why you have the young thugs. That's why you have the rappers. And that's why celebrities are the people that have the most influence, because at the end of the day, the culture says it doesn't matter what kind of character you have, it doesn't matter what you stand for, doesn't matter what kind of actions you do, it doesn't matter what you believe in, and it doesn't matter how you're benefiting the community or how you're hurting the community. At the end of the day, you still can be in front of us. Even examples like the black church. Fani can go in the black church and stand in front of a congregation as an adulterous woman. No standards. No, the black community is doomed because it doesn't have any standards and it doesn't hold people accountable for their bad actions or for making the black community look bad. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's why we have to go back and rewatch this scenario, because that's why I wanted to play a video of her dad being the way he is, because you have to look. All these things play a part in the why I say that the black culture and the black community is trash. All those things play a part. All of them. It's important. It's important. Let's look at these comments. Gene says, so much information, some useless, some incriminating. Paragraph HS for yes or no answers. Yes, no answers. Oh, paragraphs for yes, no answers. I'm sorry. Yeah, and she's intentionally doing it. She's been told to answer yes or no. Answer yes, then give your explanation. When you do that, you're confusing people. She's a lawyer. She knows what she's doing. If she's a regular person, you know what I mean, then you understand. But the fact that she's a lawyer, she's an actual attorney. She knows what she's doing, and she's doing it on purpose. It's bad faith. It's incredibly bad faith. Lynn says she couldn't remember something, so she said, I'll make that up. No, we know Fani knows. She knows. She knows. She's a liar. She's a liar. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this woman is getting up here acting like this.
And those are the only trips? So that the record is complete, I can remember one time driving to, where were we? South Carolina, and we met my sister for lunch with her man. When was that? I don't know, but we didn't stay the night there. But I guess people would consider that a trip if you drive somewhere and you come back. That was insane because it was like 5 hours to drive. We ate lunch and we drove right back. I can remember
you drove 5 hours
driving to some little town in Georgia. I don't even know where I was. I had never been there before or after. There's some boat you can get on over.
Or any of y'all in the comments section, are y'all driving 5 hours just to eat lunch and then going back another 5 hours? Make that make sense. You driving 10 hours just to eat lunch. 10 hours.
And they're like a slave thing, if that gives anyone any reference. We didn't do that. I remember doing that. I remember driving one time to Charlotte. We had lunch with one of my very close girlfriends, and again, we drove to Charlotte, met my girlfriend for lunch, and drove right back. So that's a trip. We didn't stay the night there, but I just want to be complete in my testimony. We drove someplace, had lunch, drove back. I don't remember another driving someplace distant for lunch and coming back to Charlotte to see a girlfriend, to meet my sister in South Carolina. We went by ourselves when I told you about that remote place in Georgia. We could have driven someplace else and had lunch and came back, but that's all that comes to my recollection right now. There could have been another place we drove and had lunch. My security team was very clear to me. I'm not to be out and about in Atlanta without them. And so for me to do something just very normal that a normal person would get to do if they weren't prosecuting this case, I got to drive 4 hours to do it.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Your security detail, did they take you to and from your house?
So I haven't been able to enjoy my home.
Condo, I'm sorry.
Since March of
where you lay your head? Did they take you to and from where you lay your head?
99% of the time.
Would they take Mr. Wade to and from wherever you laid your head?
That has never in the history of ever happened, ever, okay?
Your security.
Look at that attitude. Look at her. Look at her. That has never, ever in the history of ever happened. Look at that attitude. That attitude. Ugh. It's gross. Maria says, who travels this much? Seriously, my husband... She says, my husband and I go on maybe 2 trips and we don't go on cruises or out of country. What was Wade telling his wife when he was gone for all these trips? I'm pretty sure by that time he wasn't really worried about the wife anymore. It's just sick. But yeah, like, probably lying, saying they all work trips and all that kind of stuff. It's just, these people are interesting. I would be curious to know what he was telling her to, though. I would be curious to know. I would be curious. Lynn says, these people live a luxury lifestyle we can't begin to imagine on our money. Yeah, that's true. It's not their money. That's for people that say that there is no evidence of impropriety. It's not their money. It's not their money. It's the taxpayers' money. It's taxpayers' money. Lynn says, yes, Maria. Maria says, true, Lynn, true. She says, Gene, you are so right. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are great. You guys are great input, and I appreciate you. Definitely. Maria says Fani has that Jezebel spirit, and yeah, I agree. She definitely has that Jezebel spirit. And I think she's kind of wicked. I just think she's a wicked woman. And I hate to say that, but it's just how I feel. It's just how I feel. I'm not, and it's just the vibe that I get from her is just wickedness, and that's just the truth.
The team has never taken him
from my house. That's a lie.
I'm asking if they've ever taken him anywhere.
And I'm telling you that that's never happened.
So your security team has never taken Mr. Wade
My security team has never taken Mr. Wade from any place where I have lived and brought him here. Never. Not once. Not ever.
Have they ever taken the two of you together?
To where?
Anywhere.
Well, we've left this building and gone to lunch, but I go to lunch so rarely that is a very rare occasion. I am sure, and let me be clear, it wouldn't just be Mr. Wade. So I'm sure my security team has taken me to lunch. Probably been a time I've left here 7 o'clock, gone to get something to eat, and I don't even know that they would have taken him or if he would have driven himself, but they've taken me to do that. But we're talking very few, very far in between. Most days I don't even eat lunch, and when I do, it's because my assistant has heated up some bag, something, and I eat through meetings and eat in my office. It's not a practice of mine to go to lunch.
During the time period that you were dating, would your security team ever take you two together anywhere?
No.
Never?
If there was a lunch that occurred that I just described, if there was a meal that occurred that I just described, anything outside of that, and it needs to be very clear, not often, once, twice, because I want to be over-inclusive, I'm saying once or twice. I'm not certain that it happened, but I'd rather be over-inclusive with you.
So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken when Mr. Wade.
Well, no. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, Do you have any
I
problem?
object to getting any personal records of mine.
We're not dealing with privilege through a witness.
And I'm not, no, I'm not dealing with privilege. What, we had offered to put them in camera for the court to review, and I just want to know if she has any
That's not
problem.
something you deal with a witness.
Okay, you have to file as part of your job something called an income and financial disclosure report, correct?
That's correct.
And you filed your first one, so you filed 2 to date, is that right?
Is it 2 or 3? I probably would have filed 21, 22, and maybe I haven't filed 23 yet, because isn't it due like June of the next year?
April, I believe. So you filed, let's see, you filed your first one, it looks like April 15th, 2022, and your second one, April 17th, 2023. Does that sound familiar?
That I don't remember the dates, but you're an officer of the court. I'm gonna hope you're telling the truth now.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you. I already gave the state a copy, exhibit 20 and 21, if you take a look at those.
She's so
They're part of the
disrespectful.
state.
Can somebody bring me some? Yeah. Guys are getting a little old.
Absolutely preposterous, Maria. I mean, I don't know why she would think anybody was dumb enough to believe that they driving 10 hours just for lunch. For lunch? Come on, man. Smell the BS through the screen.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
those are the ones that you filed.
This looks like me for sure. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Judge, we'd move to admit 20 and 21.
I think you need to delineate which one's which
20
one's which.
is 2021, so it accounts for the time period, Your Honor, January the 1st, 21 through December the 31st, 2021. That is Defendant's Exhibit 20. Defendant's Exhibit 2021, it accounts for the time period January the 1st, 2022 through December the 1st of 2022.
All right. Any objection to exhibits 20 and 21
Nope. Sorry.
from other counsel? Admitted without objection.
Yeah. When did your personal relationship with Mr. Wade end?
Our personal relationship ended in this year. So let's be very clear so that we don't mix words. I don't want to mix words in here. Mr. Wade is my friend right now. Mr. Wade, I would say, has been my friend since 2020. I think he started out as like a mentor and a professional colleague. He became my friend and somebody that I really respected. I feel very indebted to Mr. Wade for taking on the task of this job. And he is certainly my friend and one of the people that I respect the most. So if you ask about a personal relationship, I consider myself to have a personal relationship right now, Mr. Wade. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Anna Cross. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Mr. Abadi. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Andrew Evans.
Okay, let me just clarify that
I
before we
have
go.
a personal relationship with him as we speak right now.
A romantic
I don't think that's what you're asking. I think that's what
Romantic
you're asking.
relationship. When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end? When did it end?
Me and Mr. Wade, we are good friends. My respect for him has grown over these 7 weeks of attacks. We are very good friends. I think, but for these attacks, it would have been a friendship that, as life goes, he would have stopped having. I think that you have cemented that we'll be friends till the day we die.
Let's.
Could we just have an answer to the question?
I can handle Mr. Seda. Let's have it.
She asked about a personal relationship.
She asked when the romantic relationship ended. That's the question.
It's sometime in, I'd
Tap,
say
tap,
late
tap,
summer
tap,
of
tap.
2023.
Right, Gene. Just dance.
Recordings just
Tap
got
dancing
better.
all around the question.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available.
So I don't believe me in, this is what you're really asking about. This is the salaciousness of all of this, right?
No, I'm just
When
asking about
you're
your romantic relationship. When you stopped dating?
I think that me and Mr. Wade, so he's a man, he probably would say June or July. I would say we had a tough conversation in August. So that men in relationships at the end of physical intimacy, women in relationships when that tough conversation takes place.
And where, Did he come to, I guess, the condo? I'm not sure what you called it, condo apartment. Would he come and stay at that condo or visit you there? I'm sorry, visit you there.
What condo, what apartment? I want to be clear.
So not your house. I know you classified one as house and one as condo, so I'm trying to use those terms.
So but there's been more see, what you don't understand is because of this case, I got to move. And so I
Ms.
need
Merchant, if you
to,
could ask a more precise question.
yes, please give me the time period. that we're
Mr.
talking
Wade
about.
visits you at the place you laid your head.
When?
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And
Look at
it is a lie.
Look at
It
her.
is a lie.
Look at her. Well, look at her.
Mr. Salem, thank you. We're
Hyena.
gonna take 5
Hyena.
minutes. Do that in 5.
How often did Mr. Wade visit you?
Look at that. He had to stop it. Look at it. That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for. Look at her. Look at her. Judge definitely was helping her. Judge definitely was helping her. Judge definitely was helping her. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. When it says all the information you don't need. That's the thing with her. She's telling you everything that you don't need to know. Everything that you don't care about. But guess what? She don't have no answers, no straight answers for anything else. Any of the real questions. Maria says, I can't stand her story answers. She's beyond annoying. Her assistant heats up something that was bad. Give me a break. Lynn says, this judge helped her. You can't tell me no. I agree. I think he was helping both sides though a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I think he was helping both sides, but I think it would be ignorant to say that he wasn't giving her a lot of grace and a lot of leeway to do that nonsense. Because she would have been, if that had been just a regular person and not the district attorney, she'd have been held in contempt or threatened with it at the very least. Maria says, Lynn, exactly. She's not being over inclusive. She's talking about everything except what Merchant asked. Gene says they did take 5. Wow. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's interesting. It really is. And it's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. And honestly, I mean, I think that really just, it does prove my point. It proves my point. And that point is just that Fani Willis, she represents the worst of black culture. And, I mean, we can go through more of that another day. But I'm gonna have to run in a minute. But before I go, I just want to specifically just talk about why this is important and why what we just watched is so important. Because what we saw is a woman, a masculine, independent woman, argumentative, just a liar. She just dishonest. And we saw her basically just acting a fool. And she's acting a fool for the world to see, and that she doesn't understand that she represents the culture. She represents the culture because there are people that are looking up to her. And everything that goes on is a reflection of the culture. So there are people that think that Fani Willis didn't go up there and make a fool out of herself. There are people that think that Fani Willis was defending herself and made herself look good. There are people that think that this stuff doesn't matter, but it does. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Fani Willis represents the worst that black culture has to offer. She represents the absolute worst. And to be honest, how do you think people are supposed to help her? Or how do you think people are supposed to really like objective people, because we already know that the blackity blacks are gonna sit there and be like, oh well, this queen this and queen that, and she didn't do nothing wrong. I'm not talking to you. People that are that ignorant is nothing you can do for them. But the fact that Fani has the audacity to get up and claim that she's doing this for the people. She's fighting for democracy. She's fighting for right and wrong. God is blessing her to do that. It's just an example. It's just an example of just someone who I don't know. I don't want to diagnose that woman, but it's just insane. It's really insane. And to be honest, I would love if there's somebody that disagrees with me, but other than that, yeah, let's just yeah, I'm probably gonna do another stream later on tonight. That's for sure. Later on tonight, I gotta make a run. So I'm gonna have to go in a second. But wanted to tell you guys, just got a lot coming. So I got a panel I'm doing tomorrow. That panel is basically I'm gonna basically be having that discussion. I mentioned it before. That discussion is gonna be Black culture and the way that it overlooks and mistreats women. And we're gonna bring some other perspectives on, because I could talk about this for a while, but I think that it'd be better to hear from other people too. And also, if you guys would be interested, and I'll probably open it up if y'all want to cam up too. But because I love to hear perspectives, because I personally don't believe that Black culture appreciates black women who are classy and who do have standards about themselves. They don't get appreciated. They get labeled as pick-me's. They get called all kind of names. They get called weak, feeble. They make submission and all those types of things seem like it's slavery or something like that. And basically just trying to down women who are doing what they believe they're supposed to be doing. And objectively, they could be right. Objectively, they're right. And so I want to have this discussion. And so we'll probably be looking out for that. That's going to happen tomorrow. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because, I love for pushback. And I just, I want to give you guys the best product. That's what it is, because at the end of the day, this is a business, and I want to give you guys great product. I want you guys to enjoy not just hearing my opinions, because my opinions they're gonna stay unfiltered. They're always gonna be what I genuinely believe, but it's best to also bring in other inputs. And like for instance, I would love to end my shows with the call-ins where people come in. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. But until that day comes, we're gonna rock out with the panels. And I think that shout out to the trolls too. Shout out to the trolls, because y'all make you make it interesting too, because sometimes you need people to set you off. But I just want to say that I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, because at the end of the day, you could have been doing anything, you could have been anywhere, but you chose to rock out with me. And like I say, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. I really am. I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate you, Lynn, too. She says, thanks, Jay. You're doing so great. And I appreciate it. I'm really hard on myself. So I feel like I've been struggle streaming, but yeah, I genuinely appreciate y'all's support. Seriously. I hope you enjoy what I got coming, because we're gonna do some more stuff, a lot of different types of content, and that's what I'm looking forward to. That's really what I'm looking forward to. I hope it. I hope it's great. Jean says, Jay, Lynn, and Maria, I enjoyed it. I requested this part yesterday. Glad. So glad. Maria says, when you over-explain answers, you're lying, period. Lynn says, thanks, Gene. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Lynn. I always want to say Mariah. I'm sorry. No, I hate mispronouncing people's name. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I got a panel. I got a panel coming tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about Black culture, and I'm basically daring people to prove me wrong that Black culture doesn't hate classy women. And not just that, but also check, if you get time, check out my Amazon storefront and down in the comments section, because you never know. Like if you guys have guys that like fragrance, that kind of stuff, musicians, all that kind of thing. Check it out. Check it out. I do some reviews on some stuff there. It's a little bit different. But Maria says, until next time, have a great Gene. Lynn says, good to see you, Maria. Yes, and I just want you all to know that it's great. I enjoy you guys. I'm like the fact that y'all showing up for my streams. I appreciate it. I genuinely do. And I really enjoy kicking it with y'all and seeing y'all, because you guys are dope. You really make this enjoyable. Like I couldn't ask for something better to do than spend my time talking with dope people, and I really enjoy that, and I really appreciate you guys. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So I just hope you guys have a great Saturday. I'm probably gonna stream later, later on tonight, maybe like around 7, 8ish, 9 o'clock. So if you guys are up, not doing nothing, be sure to check it out and stay tuned. I think you guys are dope, and hope you guys have a great day. J Red Unfiltered, and let's see these last comments. Lynn says, I agree. See you later. And on that note, hope you guys have a great day. Signing out.